The beauty industry has always sold more than just lipsticks and mascaras. It sells a fantasy, a flawless face, a perfect life, a promise that if you buy this foundation, this serum, this influencer's recommendation, you can be beautiful too. But oftentimes, behind the glittering ring lights and soft focus filters lies something darker. An empire built on lies, manipulation, and a desperate chase for relevance. Over the years, we've seen many names rise and fall in the beauty industry, each one promising authenticity but conveniently hiding behind the filters and quietly cashing in on the brand deals. And among those names, one name stands out more prominently than any: Mikayla Nogueira. If you've been active on the internet for the last 3 to 4 years, you might have seen her short, entertaining makeup videos. But she was not just any beauty influencer, she was the beauty influencer. The loud, relatable Boston girl who swore, laughed, and cried on camera while reviewing products. People loved her because she was relatable. She wasn't the airbrushed LA type. She was raw, emotional, and unfiltered. But somewhere along the line, that authenticity got replaced by a wall of lies. The girl who built her fame on honesty slowly became the face of everything she once stood against: deception, exaggeration, and an unrelenting hunger for attention. Today, Mikayla Nogueira isn't just a makeup artist. She's a case study in what happens when relatability becomes performance, and when a persona becomes bigger than the person behind it. This is not just a story about makeup and highlighters. It's about the cost of online fame, the illusion of authenticity, and how one woman's empire of glitter slowly began to crumble.
I don't use filters, right? I am not innocent in this. I want to be open about it and talk about it because I see how I only agree to do sponsored posts with brands that I love, and I make it very apparent in the caption that it is an ad. Hook comb to basically separate. This is one coat. Okay, I'm gonna add a second. Look at the length. Do you see that? I am speechless.
For those who don't know her, Mikayla Nogueira is one of the biggest beauty influencers on social media. She has over 17 million followers on TikTok and 3.4 million on her Instagram. Known for her thick Boston accent and dramatic makeup looks, she built her fame on being loud, honest, and relatable. The kind of creator people trusted because she seemed real. But over time, that image started to fall apart. Mikayla has been caught using filters while pretending her results were genuine, breaking advertising rules and promoting products under false claims. She's misled her fans more than once, and each time, her excuses only made things worse. She has openly admitted in her older videos that she uses filters. Yet now she's posting emotional clips where she breaks down in front of the camera, insisting that she doesn't.
I don't know why I look different in person. I don't. I film on the TikTok app with no filters. I'm just sitting here talking to my phone, and this is what I look like.
The sudden shift feels less like honesty and more like damage control, leaving viewers confused and questioning what's real and what's just another performance for sympathy. What used to be seen as confidence now comes across as arrogance, and what once felt authentic now feels manufactured. After countless lies, contradictions, and shady sponsorships, Mikayla has gone from beloved creator to one of the most disliked figures in the beauty community, a name now synonymous with dishonesty and manipulation. However, when we talk about her filters and photoshopped content, that's only scratching the surface. Once you take a deeper look into her past, her family issues, and the person behind the camera, you start to realize that there are far more disturbing things about Mikayla than just a few edited videos. In 2022, Mikayla posted a video that quickly began circulating online. In it, she claimed that being an influencer is the hardest job in the world, and that no one truly understands how much effort she puts into creating her content. What was meant to be a moment of honesty turned into one of the most criticized statements of her career, exposing just how out of touch she had become with the audience that once supported her.
You know, I'm feeling like a fucking asshole today, so I'm gonna clap back at people because I'm tired. I'm so tired. Every single day, I get up at 6 a.m. I spend about 5 to 6 hours filming video content that ranges from 3 to 4 videos, and I spend a few hours editing that video content. Then I have to work on my other social media profiles, whatever it may be, Instagram, whatever. It's marketing. Then I'm in meetings from 12 to 5. I literally just finished work and it's 5:19. Try being an influencer for a day. Try it. Because the people who say it's easy are so far out of their minds, try it for a day. It is not for everybody. In fact, it's for a very small handful of people who can actually do this job. Because it's absolutely insane. You do not want to have this job. I'm just saying.
However, it wasn't just what she said that upset people, it was the way she said it. To many viewers, the video came across as incredibly tone-deaf and dismissive of real struggles. On top of that, people were quick to point out that her life wasn't nearly as difficult as she made it seem, especially compared to those working long hours in far tougher conditions without the luxury or privilege that comes with being a social media influencer.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why I think this comment was so ignorant. And the main reason isn't because I don't know many people who finished before 5:19. It's because if you hit the nail on the head right, you literally get to make a living out of just doing whatever it is you're passionate about. The whole point is you are creating content that you have decided to make, and you can carve out a community or niche or nurture a group of people who have the exact same interests or beliefs or passions as you. So even if doing this was as hard as being a doctor or a nurse, or there was as many hours involved as being a doctor or a nurse.
Aside from being very ignorant, she also claimed that she spends her days in back-to-back meetings from 9 to 5. But many viewers found that hard to believe. For most influencers, that kind of schedule simply isn't realistic. In addition to that, people who are familiar with video editing or content creation know that the type of videos Mikayla posts doesn't take hours of intensive editing. Her claim felt exaggerated, and to many it reinforced the idea that she was completely detached from the reality of her own job. However, even if you try to overlook everything and believe her for a moment that her job truly is as demanding as she claims, it's hard to ignore the image she presents online. She's often seen showing off her luxury cars, expensive trips, and high-end products. For most people, it becomes difficult to feel sympathy for someone who's enjoying sponsored vacations to Korea, collaborating with major brands, and surrounded by endless PR packages.
UGG season, bitch. I got some good shit. Look at these. Spend the day with me and my husband. I am so excited for today. The first thing we did was went and picked up my new car. I actually cannot. I am not okay. I'm going to Korea. Like, what? I'm going to Korea. I am not okay. Get ready with me to go to Korea.
To Mikayla, her job is a story of struggle and sacrifice. To many others who actually know what real struggle looks like, her version of hardship seems more like privilege, something most people could only dream of having. Now, we all understand that the concept of an ideal job can differ from person to person. What feels exhausting to one may seem easy to another. But even by the most generous and subjective standards, Mikayla's claim of working excessively hard seemed exaggerated and insincere. Many found it difficult to believe her version of hard work, and we'll tell you exactly why. For starters, there have been countless inconsistencies in the way Mikayla presents her videos and content. She hasn't even been honest about the one job she actually has, which is to test and review beauty products. She's been called out numerous times for giving false reviews and using filters while claiming her results are real. It's almost comical at this point. She once reviewed a lip plumper while clearly using a lip filter. I mean, just look at this close-up someone posted online. Moments like these make it hard for people to trust anything she says, because if she can't be truthful about something as simple as a lip plumper, what else is she hiding? And if that isn't bad enough, Mikayla has also been caught lying about a lot of products she's promoted. People have dug up old videos of her reviewing the same items before and after she was paid by the brands. In her earlier unpaid reviews, she often had very critical things to say about those products. But the moment money entered the picture, her tone completely changed. Suddenly, those same products became the best thing in the world. and her reviews sounded scripted and overly positive. People on the internet have actually compiled side-by-side comparisons of Mikayla reviewing the same product before and after getting paid by the brand, and the difference is almost shocking.
The claim is big. Foundation mind. You have never seen natural full coverage like this. However, do I think you need to run out and get it? No, and the reason I say that is because, well, I mean, it's up to you, obviously. But if I had to choose between these two, I would choose this. And I say that because these are very similar in terms of the performance they're supposed to give, but this is a little bit more hydrating, and I have really dry skin. So I'm gonna choose this because it's more nourishing. I just feel like my skin's kind of dull, but it's a pretty foundation, and I love the bottle. I'll use it again, but it's not my new fave or anything like that. And it ain't on the wedding list. And we're gonna be the face of a KVD beauty campaign. Photo shoot is tomorrow, but this will give me a full coverage base, and a little goes a long way. See what I mean? I really wanna, my face looks so freaking smooth, like I look like a doll. And that was the goal. My face looks so freaking smooth, like I look like a doll. And that was the goal. Freaking porcelain. Freaking makeup. Oh my god.
So before she was paid, the product wasn't as nourishing, it wasn't the best option, and she didn't seem impressed at all. But once the brand's money came into play, everything changed. Suddenly, the same foundation, she started recommending it to everyone. And this is just one example. As we go deeper into her ads and fake reviews, we'll uncover several other times she's done the exact same thing, changing her opinions the moment a paycheck was involved. It's this kind of inconsistency that destroyed her credibility and turned her into one of the most disliked beauty influencers to date. What was once seen as honesty and passion for makeup now looks like manipulation wrapped in glitter and sponsorships. We mean even her wedding turned into one massive promotional campaign filled with multiple brand partnerships and months of teasing her perfect wedding lipstick collaboration. What was supposed to be a personal, intimate celebration ended up looking more like a sponsored event. And the worst part is that she continues to lie about it all. Mikayla insists that her reviews are genuine, but it's painfully clear they aren't. She claimed her wedding wasn't sponsored, yet there were lipstick booths, brand giveaways, and even a promotional shoot for an elf lipstick during the ceremony. It's moments like these that make people question whether anything in her life is real, or if everything she does is just another ad in disguise. It also makes us wonder if she really thinks her audience is that naive. Because if she believes people aren't noticing, she couldn't be more wrong. Viewers have been consistently calling her out for all of this. The filters, the fake reviews, the sponsorship lies, and yet she keeps pretending everything is fine. And trust us when we say this is only the tip of the iceberg. To truly understand everything wrong with Mikayla Nogueira, we need to take a step back from her current controversies and look at how she even became famous in the first place. So let's start from the beginning, shall we? Even though a lot of people know Mikayla as this super glam, over-the-top makeup influencer she is today, many people don't know that she actually didn't start making videos with the intention of becoming a beauty creator at all. In several of her past interviews and old videos, she's explained that her introduction to TikTok was completely accidental. According to Mikayla, she actually discovered the app through her mom. Her mother was a teacher who wanted to make short educational videos for her students, and Mikayla wanted to help her out. That's how she first downloaded TikTok, not to become an influencer, but just to assist her mom. However, anyone who's been following her for long enough knows that makeup has always been one of Mikayla's biggest passions. She's said multiple times that she found comfort in makeup from a very young age. It was her form of self-expression, a creative outlet that allowed her to escape from the insecurities and struggles she faced growing up. So while she might not have joined TikTok with the goal of becoming an influencer, it didn't take long for her to start experimenting with beauty content and sharing her looks online. And even though TikTok was definitely the platform that launched her into mainstream fame, it wasn't where her journey began. Long before her viral makeup tutorials and over-the-top product reviews, Mikayla was already posting online. Some of her earliest content dates all the way back to 2013, when she used to upload on Tumblr. And let's just say her Tumblr era was very different from the polished image she later built on TikTok. That period of her life had its own tone, its own controversies, and a very different side of Mikayla, one that we're definitely going to dive into later in this video. For now though, let's shift our focus to the beginning of Mikayla's TikTok era. She started posting on the platform around 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, when she was just 22 years old. Like many people during that time, she was stuck at home, experimenting with new hobbies and trying to find creative ways to stay busy. Interestingly, the very first video Mikayla ever posted wasn't about makeup at all. It was actually an educational video that she filmed for her mom and her family farm. When she was asked about her first ever video on TikTok in an interview, she said, "My mom, an elementary school social worker, is giving students a tour of the chicken coop on our farm." It blew up, which I thought was really strange. That's when I realized how the TikTok algorithm works. I'd tried YouTube in the past. I had a Tumblr beauty page. I gave up because it never went anywhere, but it's easy to go viral on TikTok. However, this was still not the video that brought her passion for makeup to attention. It was actually a catfish video. Now, at that time, the catfish challenge was a massive trend on TikTok. Thousands of users were doing it, and the concept was pretty straightforward. You start the video showing your bare, makeup-free face, and then transition to a fully glammed-up look to reveal a dramatic transformation. It was fun, creative, and perfect for showcasing makeup skills. When Mikayla joined in on the trend, she didn't just participate, she owned it. Her version of the challenge instantly stood out because of how drastic and impressive her transformation was. The contrast between her natural face and her full glam look blew people away. And within days, her video went viral. That one post became her breakthrough moment. Within just 8 months of uploading that video, Mikayla gained a massive following of over 2.8 million followers. Yes, that's an incredibly high number. And the reason Mikayla gained such a massive following in such a short amount of time was probably because at that moment, she was genuinely relatable. Like we mentioned earlier, she didn't look or act like your typical influencer. She wasn't trying to be picture perfect or overly polished. She came across as real, imperfect, and authentic in a world that often rewards the opposite. For those of you who followed her back then or even know of her Tumblr days, you'll remember that Mikayla struggled with acne and often spoke openly about it. She didn't hide behind filters or pretend her skin was flawless. She talked about her breakouts, her insecurities, and her love for makeup as a way to express herself rather than to hide. She also wasn't this super slim, model-like figure that dominated the beauty space at the time. Back then, beauty and fashion were heavily tied to unrealistic standards. Influencers were expected to be thin, flawless, and conventionally attractive to succeed. But Mikayla broke that mold. She showed up as herself, loud, confident, and unapologetic and real. People connected with that. She presented the very everyday person who loved makeup, who didn't have perfect skin or a tiny waist, but still wanted to feel beautiful. That relatability became her biggest strength, and it was what helped her career skyrocket in the beginning. Besides this, Mikayla also had this amazing ability to transform her entire face with makeup. And this is something we'll stand by for the entirety of this video. She definitely had and has immense talent when it comes to makeup. Even back then, her style was distinct, and she often created looks that made her appear completely different from her bare face. That's probably why people were so hooked on her videos. They loved watching her transformation unfold right before their eyes in just a few seconds. However, another big reason why Mikayla got so much attention was because of the timing. The pandemic was a strange and chaotic period. People were stuck at home, constantly on their phones and looking for anything new or entertaining to distract themselves. A lot of creators blew up during that time simply because audiences were craving fresh, lighthearted content. And Mikayla's upbeat personality and transformation videos fit that need perfectly. So Mikayla quickly became famous. In fact, she got so popular that by December 2020, she won the American Influencer Award for Emerging Makeup Artist of the Year. She posted this video on her TikTok account captioned, "My reaction to winning the American Influencer Award for Emerging Makeup Artist of the Year. Thank you for changing my life." Not only that, but she was also working at Ulta Beauty as a beauty associate at the time. However, things have changed quite a bit since then. Now she actually hosts events for Ulta Beauty and has been featured in their magazine. In fact, in 2025, she hosted the Ulta Beauty World event, showing just how far she's come from being a store beauty advisor to becoming one of their main faces.
I used to work at Ulta. Now I'm in the magazine. If this isn't proof to follow your dreams, then I don't know what is.
Hey, Michaela.
Oh, hey guys, welcome to Ulta Beauty World.
You started as an Ulta Beauty store associate. Now you're hosting the first ever Ulta Beauty World.
Unreal.
We actually came across an interview Mikayla did with Allure back in 2020, where she talked about how her TikTok journey began and what made her realize that she wanted to fully commit to being a beauty influencer. When asked what her earliest beauty memory was, she said, "My mom had a friend who sold Avon. I was only 10 years old, but my mom handed me an Avon catalog and I circled a bunch of stuff. I thought, why not try it out? And the rest is absolute history. The first time I put makeup on, that was it. When I was 15, I entered a competition called DECA and made a 50-page business plan for freelance online beauty consultations and services. I entered the Boston competition and won. And then I got to go down to Florida and present it to more people." In this interview, she also opened up about how she managed to balance her education and her passion for makeup at the same time. Mikayla attended Bryant University in Smithfield, Rhode Island, and according to her, after graduating from high school, she faced a tough decision of whether to go to college or attend beauty school to earn her makeup license. Ultimately, she chose college, but she never gave up on her love for makeup. Even while studying, she continued to take on clients, doing makeup for sorority events, dances, and college functions. Then came the turning point, the COVID-19 pandemic. She was on spring break when she received an email from her college announcing that classes would now be conducted completely online. That moment, as Mikayla described, completely changed the trajectory of her life. With more free time and flexibility due to remote learning, she began filming content regularly, experimenting with different makeup looks, and gradually diving deeper into content creation. As she recalled in this interview, the first video of hers that went really viral was the video she made showing people how she covers up her acne. She also mentioned that she eventually dropped her plan of pursuing a master's degree, realizing that if she truly wanted to make something out of her growing platform, she had to commit to content creation full-time. And it turns out that decision really paid off. As she continued posting more and more videos, she began to notice something deeper than just views or likes. People genuinely connected with her. Her followers would comment saying that they felt she was their friend, someone real and approachable in a sea of polished, distant influencers. This is the recreation of the video she's talking about in the Allure interview, her first big hit.
There's no question I got a lot of acne, but the most commonly asked question I receive is, how do you cover that up? How do you make it look like you have none at all and no texture? I'm gonna show you how I cover it up with no texture, no flaws at all. You need 3 products, and I'm gonna show you what they are. Start with a sticky serum to fill in your pores. I like either the ordinary hyaluronic acid or the Exuviance Radiance Serum. From there, you need to prep the surface of the skin. Apply a sticky primer. I like Milk Hydro Grip or the ordinary High Adherence Primer. And finally, you need a pot concealer. It has to be a pot concealer, not a liquid. Pot concealers allow you to create sort of a spackle on the face that hides the texture and covers the acne, and it dries down. If you don't use all 3 products in the right sequence, it will not work. First, apply the serum, apply the sticky primer. Now take the pot concealer and cover all the acne. Now let it sit for 2 minutes. Do not blend it. Right over with foundation. Sorry, did you say acne? Yeah, we don't know her.
And again, one thing that's very clear in this video is that she isn't only hiding her acne, she's also showing it. That raw honesty is one of the main reasons why people liked her in the first place. Up until this point, Mikayla was actually doing really well. She even mentioned that the algorithm seemed to be working in her favor, and honestly, it made sense. Her videos felt relatable, genuine, and full of passion for makeup. But then, things started to change for Mikayla. With more views came more visibility, and with that visibility came more responsibility and more eyes on everything she said or did. As her follower count skyrocketed, brands began to notice her influence and started approaching her for sponsorships and collaborations. At first, this seemed like a dream come true. After all, who wouldn't want to get paid to do what they love? But soon enough, it became clear that this was the beginning of a completely new chapter for Mikayla, one that would slowly blur the line between authentic creator and paid promoter. Her content used to focus on genuine makeup advice, tricks, tips, and honest product opinions that actually helped people. But when she started collaborating with brands, her videos began to feel less personal and more like carefully crafted ads. The authenticity that once made her stand out started fading away, replaced by promotional content that catered more to sponsors than to her audience. We've already shown you a few instances of her faking product reviews, and as we dive deeper, you'll see that there are plenty more examples where she's done the same thing. Now, to be clear, we're not saying influencers should not take brand deals. Everyone has bills to pay, and in today's digital world, sponsored videos are a normal part of content creation. But the problem starts when that sponsorship crosses the line into deception. When someone's audience puts that much trust in them, the least they can do is promote brands they genuinely use and believe in. And if that's not possible, then they should at least be transparent about which videos are sponsored. That way viewers can make an informed decision about whether the content is authentic or somewhat biased. This is not just a courtesy, it's actually a well-known rule in the beauty community. Influencers are required to include proper disclosure tags like #ad or #sponsored when promoting a paid product. But Mikayla has repeatedly failed to do this, either by leaving those disclosures out entirely or burying them where people would not notice. This kind of behavior misleads her audience and tricks them into thinking that her reviews are genuine, when in reality many of them are anything but. However, it's one thing to hide the fact that a video is sponsored, and it's a completely different thing to fake results altogether. And Mikayla has been caught red-handed doing exactly that. Her first major controversy came in January 2023, when she posted a review of the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift Mascara. The video quickly went viral, but for the reasons not that she hoped. In the clip, Mikayla showed herself applying the mascara and raving about how it made her lashes look long and voluminous. Not only that, but she even went as far as saying that the mascara changed her life. The audacity didn't stop there. She also claimed that her lashes looked like falsies, completely oblivious to how ironic that sounded.
Look how long and lengthened my lashes look.
This literally just changed my life. This looks like this is how? What? It's this L'Oreal telescopic lift. Look at the wand.
She tried really hard to convince people that the results were real. In the video, she made sure to show herself applying multiple coats of the mascara, taking her time to demonstrate every step, as if to prove that it was truly the product making the difference. But the moment the clip cut to the after shot, her lashes looked completely different, almost like they belonged to a different person. The jump was way too drastic, and the difference was honestly insane.
I'm taking the curved side, and I'm going root to tip, and I'm starting to coat the lashes. And then once you've done that, you flip the brush to the side, and you use the hook comb to basically separate. This is one coat. Okay, I'm gonna add a second. Look at the length. Do you see that? I am speechless, and I'm not sure anyone's gonna ever be able to compete with this mascara.
No matter what Mikayla says, it was clear to almost everyone watching that those were not her real lashes. Viewers slowed the video down, paused frame by frame, and pointed out visible signs of falsies. People who had been following her for years couldn't believe how blatantly she had tried to pass off fake lashes as mascara results. It was the kind of lie that was so obvious, it became almost embarrassing to watch. I mean, just look at the difference before and after the cut. Almost immediately, people began calling her out. Her comment section was flooded with viewers pointing out that the mascara seemed to magically give her extra lashes. One person wrote, "It gives you extra length, not extra lashes," while others challenged her to redo the video, this time without the suspicious cut. But this didn't stop there, because people were so determined to expose her that they even figured out what brand of falsies she was wearing. Viewers began tagging Ardell Wispies in their comments section, pointing out that her lashes looked exactly like that style. But despite that, she tried her best to gaslight the audience. One user commented on her video saying, "Wait, are you not wearing falsies at the end?" And she replied saying, "No, OMG, L'Oreal would never allow that in a partnered post, but y'all proving my point." Now, in our opinion, this was manipulation on another level. It's almost like she said that line about her lashes looking like falsies on purpose. She knew they didn't look real, and it felt as if she was daring the audience to call her out, just so she could twist their words and say they were proving her point. However, what Mikayla seemed to forget is that her audience is not dumb. People understand makeup, lighting, and editing, and they caught on to her lie faster than she probably even realized what was happening. This mascara controversy later came to be known as Lashgate, one of the biggest scandals in the beauty community at the time. And Mikayla wasn't the only one caught in the middle of it. The entire beauty industry began weighing in. Major creators like Jeffree Star and Huda Beauty publicly addressed this situation, calling out the lack of honesty and transparency in influencer marketing. Jeffree Star in particular took multiple jabs at Mikayla. He posted a video calling out her collaboration with e.l.f. for her wedding. This was something many people had already been talking about, because Mikayla had repeatedly claimed that e.l.f. did not sponsor her wedding. Jeffree was one of the first major creators to call her out on it, pointing out how obvious the brand promotion was.
Whether you believe or not, what I'm about to say is none of my business. But what I'm going to tell you is that the video I made about these e.l.f. eyeshadows, I made $0. Saying I have like an endorsement by e.l.f. And I feel like a broken record saying that they didn't sponsor my wedding.
Now listen, Mikayla, we all know that you may not have some endorsements by e.l.f., but baby, when you make a lip kit for your wedding called the Wedding Lip Kit, e.l.f. paid for your wedding. I not understanding. Now, Miss Thing may not have an endorsement by e.l.f. like how Gatorade will endorse a football player, but she definitely made a lip kit for her wedding, and that entire collab made her a lot of money.
Now, Jeffree Star, as most of you probably know, is a pretty controversial figure himself, but in this case he actually raised some valid points. He didn't stop there either. He later took another dig at Mikayla when she posted a video reviewing the Haus Labs blushes. As always, her reaction was completely over the top. The exaggerated expressions, the dramatic tone, everything that people have come to associate with her sponsored content. Jeffree, in one of his own videos where he was reviewing a Dior blush, made a subtle jab at her by saying that she wouldn't be doing those over-the-top reactions just for views. Mikayla responded soon after, posting a TikTok saying that she was very unbothered by people not liking how she reacted to products.
Like there's more drama in the beauty community, this time about blush. Mikayla did a video where she was reviewing the new Haus Labs blush. Then Jeffree Star reviewed the Too Faced and the Dior blushes. Here's Mikayla's initial reaction to the blush.
Holy cannoli! These are beautiful. These are new blushes from Haus Labs. Holy sh**.
And here's what Jeffree Star had to say in his video about influencers making over-the-top reactions about makeup.
Now here's what we're not gonna do today. Ready? All these this is how they're doing it these days. I can't. All right, you guys, so we're gonna review this. Oh my god, it's so pretty! That's what we're not gonna be doing on Jeffree Star's TikTok today, you fake ass hoe.
And then here's what seems to be Mikayla's response to that.
If you're mad at the way I react to shit, just stay mad. So this is the cutie cake shade.
This is what a lot of the comment section on Mikayla's video looked like. Most people assumed that it was about Jeffree Star. She also replied to some comments. Clearly she's unbothered.
So yeah, there was definitely a little tiff between the two. And fans on both sides seemed to enjoy the subtle shade and sneaky jabs they threw at each other. However, Jeffree wasn't the only one to talk about it. Huda Beauty also did an interview where she discussed how some influencers are overly consumed by the use of filters. She mentioned her own daughter and said that she doesn't support using filters and sending the wrong message out to the world. Even though she didn't directly address Mikayla, people quickly linked her comments to Mikayla's controversy and her heavily filtered appearance.
That pressure of these perfect images that are so far, again, unattainable, has also created this sense of unhappiness and this sense of incompleteness, you know, where we are not complete without the editing. I see my daughter. She thinks it's normal to only use filters. And I don't like that. Is she going to grow up in a world where people are honest? Like, could that possibly happen? Is that too much to ask?
Honestly speaking, it's quite nice to see other influencers speaking up about this issue, even if it wasn't directly related to Mikayla. Huda Beauty coming forward about the use of filters and how they're impacting the world today and the beauty standards people are expected to meet is an important message. We understand that everyone has insecurities and tries to hide them, but this constant use of filters sets unrealistic expectations for how people should look, and that's not healthy at all. However, whenever there's controversy, there's always two sides to the story. While many people criticized Mikayla and called her dishonest, there were also quite a few who thought it wasn't that big of a deal. Several people from within the beauty community even spoke up in her defense. Beauty influencer Madison Lewis posted a video addressing the whole Lashgate situation, saying she didn't understand why people were so angry at Mikayla. According to her, even if Mikayla did use fake lashes, it's not a big deal because, in her words, everything is fake advertising.
Even if she did put false eyelashes on, why does that matter? I know it's false advertising, but isn't everything false advertising? Isn't everything technically kind of lying, just a little bit. You know, food commercials aren't actual, like, all food products, right? Like, they mix certain things to make certain things look better. Isn't that false advertising? I'm just confused. I know you've seen the videos of, like, how commercials actually make their hot chocolate look good. That type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, you guys like to pick and choose who we're gonna pick on today. It doesn't make that much sense to me. Don't get me wrong, lying sucks, but everyone does it. Especially when it comes to social media, and especially when it comes to making money. Sorry if somebody put $200,000 in your face and said, hey, promote my shitty mascara.
While some agreed with her point of view, others felt she was completely missing the point. They argued that her defense came off as tone deaf, and that normalizing deception just because everyone does it isn't okay. Many also pointed out that if Madison was fine with being lied to, that was her choice, but it doesn't make it acceptable for influencers to mislead their audiences. People also said that if she was defending Mikayla on this, then she might also be doing this exact thing to her audience. Regardless, as the story spread, Mikayla's reputation took a massive hit. Many people who once supported her started questioning everything she had ever promoted. It wasn't just about one mascara anymore. It became a symbol of how fake the beauty influencer world had become. She lost a significant number of followers during that time, and her credibility was almost completely shattered. What made the whole thing even worse was the silence that followed. Neither Mikayla nor L'Oreal ever addressed the controversy directly. They didn't confirm or deny whether she had used falsies in the ad, leaving the internet to come to its own conclusion, and for most people, the evidence spoke for itself. However, Mikayla didn't let the drama die down so easily. In fact, she made several videos in the months following the Lashgate controversy where she subtly took jabs at the whole situation. For instance, a few months after the original video went viral, she uploaded another one where she was doing her mother's makeup and jokingly said that the look wouldn't be complete without the iconic Mikayla combo, the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift Mascara and Ardell Lashes.
And would it be a Mikayla look without this infamous combo, the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift and a pair of Ardell Wispies?
This was clearly a playful jab at the controversy, and in a way, could even be seen as a soft admission that she did use false lashes, though she never directly confirmed it. People were quick to point this out, and she even replied to some of the comments under her video. In addition to that, she also made another video, more of a tutorial-style clip, where she talked about how she uses falsies and makes her lashes look real.
The difference in my lashes with this mascara is absolutely incredible. It truly did a phenomenal job. I mean, literally, just look at the difference. So I just lied straight to your face, and you probably believed it. These lashes, totally fake. And that's what brands do. They lie to you about how things work. Would you have known these were false lashes? Maybe not. You're someone who doesn't have a lot of lashes, doesn't know how to apply lashes, or just wants a little lash lift, this video is for you. Out the gate, let's start by applying 2 coats of your favorite mascara. We want to achieve the fuller lash look. We're going to use the Kiss Lash Couture Faux Lash Extension. They're super affordable, you get a ton of them. This is the current one I'm using, this is so easy to do. You need a strip lash glue. You're going to take one of these lash pieces and get some glue on it. You don't got to let it dry, give it a quick blow. Literally gonna take the piece and just lay it right on your lashes and press it down. Put about 5 pieces. Then go ahead and apply 1 final coat of mascara. How would they know? How would they know? You know?
I mean, the audacity is just unbelievable. Anyways, this marked the end of the first part of the Lashgate controversy, and as we said, it took a massive hit on her reputation. Around this point, people truly began to open their eyes and realize that this might not have been an isolated incident. Many started revisiting her old videos and noticed patterns like the excessive use of filters, photoshopping her pictures, exaggerating product results, and lying about her so-called favorite brands. It was as if Lashgate had pulled back the curtain and everyone could finally see the reality behind the picture-perfect image Mikayla had built. People began to question everything she posted, wondering what was genuine and what was just another sponsored performance. In the next part of the video, we're going to dive deep into all of that, every lie, every exaggeration, and every questionable decision that led to Mikayla Nogueira's downfall in the eyes of so many. The first thing people began calling out after Lashgate, and even before that, was her fake Boston accent. Many just thought it sounded fake, and they also found it incredibly annoying. Over time, multiple compilations started circulating online, mocking the way she speaks. One particular phrase went viral and became somewhat of a meme when Mikayla said nice and sharp in that exaggerated tone she's known for. People flooded her comment sections with jokes and references to it, turning what was once her trademark style into yet another reason for people to clown on her.
Nice and shy, 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 nice and shy.
There are countless videos of her using this exaggerated accent, and honestly, they're both cringe and funny. It's like she's unintentionally turned herself into a running joke online. But the real issue isn't her accent or how she talks, it's the fact that she seems to be faking it entirely. She made a video where she recreated Kim Kardashian's Met Gala look, and it went viral not because of the makeup itself, but simply because of how she said Kim's name.
Mikayla is scaring her viewers. Mikayla posted a TikTok where she recreated Kim Kardashian's Met Gala look. And everyone is freaking out over how she said Kim Kardashian's name in her intro.
Kim Kardashian had this absolutely stunning look at the Met Gala. Kim Kardashian had...
Pretty much everyone in the comments was talking about how when they heard that intro, it freaked them out and they jumped.
We mean, who even talks like that? And even if we try to believe it's her real accent, it's honestly really hard to take it seriously. People have actually found solid proof that she's been faking it all along. And for some reason, this whole accent debate has really fired up her audience. Fans started digging through her old vlogs and Tumblr-era videos, and in those clips, she speaks in a completely normal voice, no hint of that exaggerated Boston tone she's known for now.
Hey guys, so I just got off the bus and I was at school, so I'm gonna start doing like random vlogs, and so today I just wanted to do like a vlog to show you my chickens.
This made people even more convinced that the accent was something she picked up later for attention, or to make herself stand out online. It's almost like she built a character version of herself, and the fake accent became part of that persona. And if you need more proof of her talking in a normal accent back in the day, don't worry, because we've got plenty. We actually came across an old college promotional video featuring Mikayla, and guess what? No accent, none at all. She sounds completely normal, just like any other student doing a university video.
Be seeing me around, but this is one of my favorite buildings. You can come here to hang out with your friends, study, grab a bite to eat. There are lots of offices in this building, such as the PwC, Center for Diversity and Inclusion, and there's so much you can do in this building. I highly recommend.
Besides that, there are also several older makeup tutorials of hers where she doesn't use the accent either.
$275 foundation, and it's the wrong shade that I currently use, and this is the Zote soap. Today I'm going to be talking about my skincare journey. It has not been easy. You're going to take the sponge with the hyaluronic and a little bit of foundation and press on the powder.
For many people, that was the final confirmation that she'd been putting on the voice for attention, trying to create a more recognizable and unique online persona rather than just being herself. But of course, Mikayla isn't the type to accept anything. If there's one thing we've learned about her at this point, it's that she can lie through her teeth and keep it up no matter what. She just keeps piling on one lie after another to cover things up, and that's a very clear pattern with her. When people started calling her out for a fake Boston accent, she tried to defend herself by saying it wasn't fake at all. She spoke in an American accent in her older videos because it was actually her radio voice. In a podcast, she explained that in her older videos, she was nervous about how she sounded, so she used what she called her customer service or radio voice instead. Now, we went to her Wikipedia page, and it actually says that she interned at a radio station when she was in college, which might explain the accent. But regardless of what she says, it's still really hard for some people to believe her. However, if she really is faking her accent, we can't even imagine how difficult it must be for her to keep it up 24/7. We mean, no wonder she thinks her job is so hard. But trust us when we say that her accent isn't really that irritating. Yes, unpopular opinion. Because while a lot of people seem to find it annoying, at the end of the day, if she really does have a radio voice, it's not exactly harming anyone. She can talk however she likes, it's just a little funny how she does it. But when it comes to her other fake stories, things get a little more troubling, like the photo editing and filter situation. This is something that's extremely evident in a lot of her content, and honestly, it's hard to ignore once you notice it. She uses filters so heavily that even a child could point them out. And while yes, we do understand that in today's world almost everyone uses filters to some extent, whether it's to smooth out their skin, fix lighting, or enhance colors, the issue with Mikayla goes way beyond that. She doesn't just use mild color grading or soft lighting adjustments to make her videos look more aesthetic. No, Mikayla uses full-on beauty filters that completely transform her face. These filters make her jawline appear unnaturally sharp, her eyes noticeably bigger, and her lips much plumper than they actually are. In a lot of her videos, her face looks like it's been reshaped entirely. And when you compare her filtered clips to her unedited ones, the difference is night and day. What's worse is that she often denies or ignores these claims altogether, even though the proof is right there on screen. It's gotten to the point where many people feel that she's selling a completely false image of herself, which is ironic considering that her original appeal was built on being real and relatable. In most of her current videos, she looks almost nothing like her natural self. And for a creator who built her brand and authenticity, that's a huge problem. People on the internet have actually gone the extra mile to expose how much Mikayla edits her pictures. There are countless side-by-side comparisons of her edited and unedited photos, and the difference is hard to ignore. Fans have put together images from her own Instagram posts, where her face looks smooth, sculpted, and flawless, next to candid photos taken by others at events. In her posts, she looks airbrushed and doll-like, but in real-life pictures, she looks completely different. Still beautiful, just far more natural. We mean she doesn't even look like the same person in some of these pictures. And while Mikayla keeps blaming it on angles and camera quality, a lot of people have pointed out that there's no way lighting or angles alone could make her look so drastically different. Sure, good lighting and flattering poses can change how someone looks on camera, but these photos go way beyond that and look completely altered. For example, there is a picture of her with her husband Cody where she clearly edited herself to appear much slimmer and smaller. And honestly, there was absolutely no need to do that. She looked fine without the edits. But by doing this, she just proved how far she's drifted from the real, relatable person people originally followed. Here's another example of her social media posts versus the pap photos. Now, one thing we really need to point out while talking about her photoshops is that Mikayla is a beautiful woman. In no way are we saying that she looks bad or unattractive in the pictures taken by fans. Of course, she doesn't look as flawless in those, but that's simply because fan pictures don't have the 100 layers of filters smoothing her skin, shrinking her face, and toning her body. But honestly, those unedited photos look real. They show her as a normal person. And in our opinion, she looks great. She already has genuine beauty and incredible talent when it comes to makeup. It's like she doesn't realize that the real her was what made people love her in the first place. In our opinion, the editing doesn't make her look better. If anything, it just makes her look fake and gives people an opportunity to point out the difference that is so stark and very hard to miss. But then again, most beauty influencers edit their photos, and they also do a very poor job at it. So let's just ignore it for a second. What's really disturbing, though, is that she also uses filters in her TikTok videos, which, according to us, is more of an issue since most of her videos are sponsored ads, where she's reviewing products in those videos. So it's very important for her to show the real results. Otherwise, she isn't only hiding her insecurities, she's actually deceiving the people who are trusting her and her opinions on a product. However, Mikayla has proved time and time again that she doesn't really deserve the trust people initially put in her. She's even been invited to body positivity podcasts, where she talked about how she doesn't use filters. And she recently made a video breaking down, crying about why she looks different in paparazzi photos, even though she doesn't use filters. But that's not true. She has been repeatedly exposed for using filters, with multiple examples showing it clearly, and it's the lies that really gets on people's nerves.
If I have acne, I show it. If I have darkness under my eyes because I didn't sleep the night before, I show it. I'm very open about how I look on TikTok and on camera.
One thing she's been called out for a lot in her videos is the use of a neck filter. A creator on TikTok by the name of Dante Unica made a video showing her neck filter.
If the girls weren't bad enough, they're calling Mikayla Nogueira out for her neck filter. Oh my god, this is crazy, guys. So apparently Mikayla uses filters on her videos. I don't know how, but apparently the neck filter has been seen slipping on and off of her girls. How do you even get a filter on your neck? Like, that's the question I got after watching this video. Oh, so what do you guys think about this neck filter, girls? I swear to God, I'm hearing something new about Mikayla every single day. Girls, oh my God, this is crazy. Mikayla, why a filter on your neck though? Like, that's what I want to know. Like,
There was also another creator by the name of RichLux713 who seemed to have a permanent beef with Mikayla because he made a lot of videos about her filters. In one of his videos, he mentioned that Mikayla did a sort of collaboration with a friend, and there was an unedited and unfiltered video of her on her account that got removed because it received a lot of hate comments for how different she looked.
Okay, TikTok queen Mikayla posted a video like this on her friend's TikTok. The video got deleted because there's a lot of hate comments talking about this doesn't really look like her. She looks so different without the filter on. Now, this is the TikTok queen Mikayla with her filter on, promoting something, girl. But don't say you don't use filters, the house, girl. But anyways, the video got deleted. Super sneaky, shady. I just miss the days when the girls didn't use filters, the house. There it is. But she don't use filters, girl. She don't use filters.
Someone on Reddit also posted a video for reviewing products, and you can clearly see the filters changing constantly throughout the video. And if this still isn't enough proof for you, we actually came across an entire compilation of several instances where Mikayla has been caught using filters during her sponsored videos, and we're going to show you each of them one by one. Starting with her lip filters, there are multiple clips where her neck and lip filters have been seen glitching mid-video. Someone also posted a comparison showing the difference between her videos when the filter was on versus the brief moment when it glitched off, and the change was honestly hard to ignore. There's also a video that we've talked about before that stirred up quite a bit of outrage online. In that particular video, Mikayla was reviewing the NYX Lip Plumper, and viewers quickly noticed something strange going on. Her lips kept glitching, constantly changing in size, getting bigger and then smaller within seconds. It became obvious that she was using a lip filter to exaggerate the product's effect, making it look like the lip plumper worked far better than it actually did. This not only made the review seem dishonest, but also left a lot of people feeling misled and disappointed. Now this, in our opinion, is a prime example of Mikayla lying to her audience and not giving a damn. For starters, she wears fake lashes while reviewing mascaras, and she uses lip filters while reviewing lip plumper. These instances go far beyond simply hiding her insecurities. They're about distorting reality and presenting something completely false to her audience. It's one thing to enhance your appearance for confidence, but it's another to mislead people who genuinely trust your reviews and base their purchasing decisions on your content. We mean, let's just stop and think about it for a second. A lot of people spend their money on brands and products based on her recommendations because she shows such amazing results in her videos, and this honestly is the epitome of dishonesty. Think about the young girls with insecurities who started watching her because they related to her. Someone who didn't have perfect skin. Then suddenly Mikayla claims her acne cleared up because of certain products, and now she has the most flawless skin ever. What are these girls supposed to do? They end up spending their money on these brands, not realizing that their favorite influencer has been editing the results all along. Talking about Mikayla's acne, there's another thing that people have been pointing out about her, and it's extremely valid. We've previously talked about how when Mikayla started making videos, she had a lot of acne, and she showed what products she used to cover it up and improve her skin. However, now Mikayla has flawless skin, and she constantly uses her past acne as a way to advertise products, presenting them as something that can help other people clear their acne. Every product she uses, she claims, has helped her cover up her acne. She's reviewed so many products and said the same thing repeatedly.
What's poppin' TikTok? As many of you know, my acne has left the building. What has not left the building, though, is my acne scars. Am I ashamed of them? No. Do I give a fuck about them? No. But why not try out a product and see if we can get rid of them? So this is all acne scars.
At one point, she even used 7 to 8 products in the past 3 weeks and claimed that each one helped clear her acne. But the real question is, how does she know which one of these products actually worked when she's using so many at the same time? How can anyone ever know?
Most highly requested video. The skincare routine I have been using to keep my acne away. My skin is the best it's ever looked. And it's because I stayed consistent with this routine for months. So the DHC Deep Cleansing Oil, you can get this on Amazon, it's affordable. Use it on dry skin to melt off your makeup. And then I use some warm water on a microfiber towel from Walmart to remove the oil. Be very gentle and clean your facial piercings.
She constantly swears by certain products and posts videos showing her beauty and skincare routines. However, oftentimes there's not a single product in that routine that she claims she's used religiously in the past 2 weeks. The inconsistencies are too much, and they paint a clear picture of someone who's just chasing money and who can lie and say anything about a brand if she's paid the right amount. This, combined with her use of filters and ads, gave her a very bad reputation. And while many people agree that Mikayla has been dishonest, that is extremely unethical to use filters in sponsored videos. A lot of people have also pointed out that TV commercials and other social media ads also do it. But then again, in Mikayla's case, using filters and lying about the results is even more problematic for several reasons. First off, she conveniently forgets to mention the hashtag and inform her fans that a video is sponsored and is an ad for a product rather than a genuine review. And since Mikayla started her content creation journey by giving genuine product reviews, people used to naturally associate most of her videos as unsponsored. This made her use of filters in sponsored videos and the misleading presentation of results even more damaging to her reputation. Now, undisclosed ads, in our opinion, are a big problem. Whenever an influencer posts a hashtag telling the audience that they're doing a paid video with the brand, it naturally alerts the audience that the review might not be fully authentic and they're more cautious toward the products. They tend to look up to other reviews and research about the product fully before they invest their money in it. In simple words, they're less likely to be swayed into buying something right away, and they tend to take the review with a grain of salt. That's exactly why it's mandatory for influencers to disclose sponsorships like hashtags like ad or sponsored. It's not just about honesty, it's about giving the audience the full context. Without that, what seems like a genuine, unbiased review is actually a paid advertisement in disguise. But Mikayla, like we said, does not add the hashtags, and she's been called out for it multiple times. She either simply does not put the hashtag, or she quietly edits the caption later on after thousands of people have already watched the video without even realizing that it was a paid promotion. We actually came across this video of Mikayla where she talks about how some people have been accusing her of posting undisclosed ads. She addressed it by saying that if any of her videos are sponsored, it'll say so in the caption. However, there have been multiple videos of hers, including the Lashgate video, where she stated absolutely no hashtags. And so the audience did know for the longest time that the video was a paid ad.
Mikayla Nogueira exposes herself.
I noticed recently on my TikTok there's been an uptick in the amount of comments saying this is an ad, or is this an ad, or this must be sponsored. I've been on TikTok since March, and I've done 2 sponsored posts. I only agree to do sponsored posts with brands that I love, and I make it very apparent in the caption that it is an ad. This literally just changed my life. If my post is an ad, it will say it in the caption.
Now, we'd just like to emphasize how important it is to disclose ads with a hashtag, because this is not just an unwritten rule in the beauty community, it's actually an FTC guideline, which Mikayla has violated multiple times. For those who might not be aware, the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, has very clear and strict guidelines when it comes to influencer marketing and sponsored content. You can actually go over to the government website and read the rules. According to the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, influencers who are paid to promote a product, receive free products in exchange for promotion, or have any other type of financial relationship with a brand are legally required to make that relationship fully transparent to their audience. This disclosure must be placed clearly at the very beginning of the post or video, ensuring that viewers are aware from the start that the content is sponsored or compensated in some way. It cannot be hidden among a list of hashtags, tucked away in the comments section, or added hours later as an afterthought, because doing so defeats the purpose of transparency. The FTC emphasizes that disclosures must be obvious, unambiguous, and easily understandable by the average viewer. Simply implying sponsorship or burying it where it might be overlooked is not sufficient. Failure to comply with these rules is not just considered unethical or misleading, it's a direct violation of federal law. Violations can result in severe consequences, including significant fines and other penalties. These guidelines are in place to protect consumers, especially in industries like beauty and wellness, where people are often making purchasing decisions based heavily on influencer recommendations. Honest and upfront disclosure allows viewers to make informed decisions, understand potential biases, and critically evaluate the content they're consuming. So it's very clear that Mikayla has violated these FTC rules, which could technically result in fines, penalties, or even permanent bans from platforms. Yet for some reason she's faced no such consequences, and brands continue to collaborate with her. From a business perspective, it makes sense. These partnerships benefit both the brands and her, creating a mutually profitable relationship. However, an even bigger concern lies in her fake reviews. You might think undisclosed ads are bad enough, but this takes things to another level. There are numerous instances where she shares her honest opinion about a product in one video, only to post a completely different review after getting paid by the brand. The shift in her stance is so drastic and frequent that it becomes dizzying to track. These repeated changes undermine her credibility and make it extremely difficult for audience to trust her recommendations, turning what should be genuine reviews into misleading content designed to promote products. For example, there's one clip where she receives a mascara and openly says she hates the product. Keep that in mind. Then later, after getting paid by the brand, she uses the exact same mascara and has nothing negative to say about it.
Makeup I hate. In other words, I likely will never use these products again after this video. I just actually really like this mascara, but it bleeds like a bitch. Your under eye's raccoon at the end of the day, which sucks. And the wand can be a little tough to work with. It used to be one of my favorites. For the lashes, I'm using the Pillow Talk Push-Up Lashes in the beautiful Dream Pop color. I love how it pairs with the eyeshadow.
So it's simple. At first, she criticizes the brand, saying the mascara clumps, the formula bleeds, and the wand is hard to work with. But as soon as she gets paid, her entire review flips, praising the product as if none of those issues ever existed. And this is just one example of her doing it. We also found another video where she's reviewing a brow product. In that clip, she says that she would never use it, explaining that it's hard to work with and that she doesn't really like it. But as soon as she gets paid, the whole narrative changes. She praises the product, talks about how nice it smells, and shows her brows looking flawless after using it.
That I completely regret buying. I want to like this. I do. I want to like it. But the wand is too big, and it works almost too well. Like, once you get those brow hairs in place... Wow. Alright, let's see. This has fragrance in it, and it smells like really good. Really nice and cool. I mean, it doesn't look like it's gonna go anywhere, but as you can see, it very easily combed through. But then though, my brows look so good. Holy they look so fluffy.
However, the biggest sponsored scam she's pulled so far has to be with the Essence Concealer. For those who regularly watch Mikayla's content, you probably already know that Essence is one of those brands that has sponsored her the most, so her reviews about the products are rarely ever genuine. A great example of this is when she previously reviewed this same concealer and openly said that the shade range was terrible and that the product wasn't that great overall.
This new foundation from Essence is only $6.99, so let's try it. Let me tell you something, I got these at Ulta, okay? The shade range is not it. Well, there's 20 shades, but do these three not look exactly the fucking same? And listen to the names. Fair, Pale, and Porcelain.
But fast forward to when Essence finally paid her for a collaboration, and suddenly her tone completely changed. She did a whole face using Essence products, and in her own words, admitted that Essence was just so cool.
I'm gonna prove to you that even if you use one of the most affordable makeup brands, Essence, you can achieve a look that looks just as good, if not better, than high-end makeup. That's right, we're doing a full face of Essence. I have always wanted to do this. Essence is so good.
Another important thing to point out here is her choice of language in her videos. She constantly uses words that make everything sound flawless, poreless, and perfect, and she herself has admitted that she uses these words because she's paid by brands to do so, knowing that these terms sell. People want poreless, which is an entirely unrealistic standard to set for themselves.
I am not innocent in this. In my videos, I use the word flawless, perfect, poreless all the time because I'm conditioned.
Personally, we think it's concerning that Mikayla, someone who's been invited to body positivity podcasts and shows and who briefly became a face for self-love initiatives, would use words like these. There should be a clear line between promoting brands and staying true to your own message. She built her brand on self-acceptance and then shattered it with her own actions. This is a lesson that many beauty influencers and even celebrities should take note of. There needs to be a very clear line between your values and brand partnerships. Influencers should choose partnerships that, at least in some ways, align with their brand and what their audience appreciates about them. Once they start abandoning those core values, the traits that made them relatable and authentic, it often backfires, destroying everything they worked hard to build. However, that being said, we'd like to now move on to this second part of the Lashgate controversy, Lashgate 2.0. You would think that after experiencing the first fiasco, Mikayla would now be more cautious with her reviews and genuinely show the real results. But no. On the contrary, she got even bolder and became one of the most dishonest influencers you could imagine. We believe Lashgate 2.0 happened around June 2024, roughly a year after the first Lashgate controversy. She posted a video trying out, once again, an Essence product, which we think was called the Call Me Queen mascara. Yes, we know what you're thinking, another mascara review. Honestly, at this point, it's hard to tell if people even trust her anymore after the initial Maybelline mascara fiasco, but here she was again, reviewing yet another mascara, and we're gonna show you the video real quick.
Mascara. Curl the lashes. It has this really flexible wand. Supposed to give a nice flared effect. Okay, that before and after, it's pretty freaking good. That's 2 coats. I'm gonna let that dry and then I'll add a third. I like how the wand is smaller because I can really get into each individual hair. Okay, third coat just to see such a beautiful mascara. Okay, last thing I want to try are these.
Now, at first glance, there seems to be nothing wrong with the video. She definitely doesn't appear to be using fake lashes here. So what's the problem? Well, a lot of people watch her content more closely than most, and if you noticed, then you're one of them. If you pay attention, you can see that the video cuts in the middle after she applied mascara to one of her eyes. Then, after the cut, while she's talking, she suddenly has a completely different colored wand in her hand, which clearly does not match the mascara she showed at the beginning of the video. This is the mascara she was reviewing. It's purple with a black wand cap. And the one she had in her hand when the video was cut was this one with a pink cap, which people say is actually a Maybelline mascara. So she was caught yet again, blatantly lying about the results of a product. And this time it wasn't just a small exaggeration. She was showing one thing and using something entirely different, once again misleading people into thinking that the results were genuine. Honestly, at this point, you really have to wonder how someone can be this confident in their own dishonesty. She knows after all the drama she's caused and the countless times people have called her out that her audience doesn't trust her blindly anymore. People scrutinize every frame of her videos, dissect her reviews, and yet she still goes ahead and deceives them, fully aware that viewers can see right through it. It's almost impressive in a twisted way, like a masterclass in audacity, but also incredibly frustrating for anyone who once thought her content was trustworthy. You almost have to pause and ask yourself, does she even realize how obvious it is? Or does she just enjoy watching people figure it out too late? And even after being caught red-handed, Mikayla still didn't admit to anything. Of course not. When people called her out for clearly using a completely different product mid-video, her explanation was, let's just say, creative. She claimed that she had another wand in her hand because apparently in between cuts, she was using a separate mascara for her bottom lashes. Yes, according to her, she always uses a different mascara for bottom lashes. So that magically justifies swapping products in the middle of a review without telling anyone. The excuse is so convoluted and overcomplicated that it almost seems like she made it up on the spot. Yet she presented it as if it were the most normal thing in the world. Honestly, it's the kind of explanation that leaves viewers blinking in disbelief, wondering if they accidentally entered an alternate reality where switching mascaras mid-review is perfectly acceptable. However, the issue here is that her explanation simply doesn't add up, as you can clearly see in the video. When the cut happens and she's holding the Maybelline mascara, her bottom lashes aren't even done. So why would she suddenly have another mascara in her hand, claiming she used it for her bottom lashes, when in fact they clearly aren't done yet? It's a mystery that somehow defies logic. But don't worry, Mikayla made an amazing attempt to solve this mystery for her audience. As the comments started spiraling out of control, she posted this detailed explanation, presumably to clear things up, which of course left more people scratching their heads than ever. She said, "Just to clarify what I am seeing about Lashgate 2.0 LOL, I did a review of Essence mascara. Totally organic, by the way. Purchased it myself, not an ad. In the video, I am seen holding a Maybelline mascara when I am doing my eyes. And that is because I use that Maybelline on my bottom lashes. The question then is, well, the bottom lashes aren't done when the clip of the mascara plays. That clip was right when I was about to do the bottom lashes. I applied lip liner first and then did them." Now, even if we try to give her the benefit of the doubt for a second and assume she was actually doing her bottom lashes, it's still really hard to believe her claim that she bought the mascara herself and that the video wasn't sponsored. And we have a very good reason for saying this. If you check online, you'll see that this Essence mascara was released in July 2022, which is exactly when Lashgate 2.0 happened. Sure, you could argue that maybe she bought it herself and was just testing it like everyone else. But here's the thing, as we've shown you guys previously, Essence regularly sponsors Mikayla, and it's extremely unlikely that their new mascara launched and they didn't send it to her to try out. The timing and circumstances just don't add up. However, the real giveaway that exposed her was actually the fact that during that time, a lot of other influencers were also reviewing this same mascara. If you take a close look at the scripts of these other beauty influencers who reviewed this mascara, you'll notice one thing very clearly. Almost every single one of these videos uses the exact same words to describe and promote the product. One video that really stands out and resembles Mikayla's style is by the popular beauty influencer Duis Mendoza. Duis is known for relatively honest makeup reviews, and when he did this sponsored video with Essence, he did it the right way, disclosing the partnership in the very first line of his post, fully following FTC guidelines. Online, there's even a comparison video showing Mikayla's clips side by side with Duis' video, and it's obvious how similar the scripts are.
This is the new Essence Call Me Queen mascara.
This is the new Essence Call Me Queen mascara.
Okay, now this mascara is supposed to give you little thin furrow lashes, a voluminous lengthening effect. I'm gonna do one eye first, and then we're gonna see what it gives compared to the other eye.
Curl the lashes. It has this really flexible wand. Supposed to give a nice flat effect. Okay, that before and after, it's pretty freaking good.
I'm gonna do one eye first, and then we're gonna see what it gives compared to the other eye.
That's 2 coats. I'm gonna let that dry and then I'll add a third.
Okay, now after doing the tips, I'm gonna start putting another coat, but this time, I'm gonna start applying another coat, but this time taking it down to the roots of my lashes.
Okay, third coat just to see.
She got the job done.
Such a beautiful mascara.
I mean, the two videos are practically copy-pasted, almost word for word, except for one very important difference. Duis actually did the promotion right away and disclosed it to his audience up front, while Mikayla didn't. Not only did she lie about buying the product herself, but she also switched the mascara mid-video and still somehow managed to get caught. There are just so many things wrong here. First, she lies about using another product, then to cover it up, she tells another lie about the ad not being sponsored. She gets exposed for that too, yet one thing she refuses to do is take accountability and be honest for once. It's a cycle of dishonesty, and it's honestly exhausting to watch. Which is why we're now going to shift gears from influencer world dishonesty to something entirely different, which we personally found really interesting in Mikayla's story, her pre-fame days. We promised you guys that we'd do a deep dive into her Tumblr and high school era, and we feel now is the perfect time to do it. One thing we really want to point out here is that yes, Mikayla is dishonest with her reviews, but many people argue that this is just the reality of the beauty influencer world, and that almost all influencers do it. However, the thing that makes Mikayla so infuriating is not only that she lies constantly, it's also the fact that she's always been a problematic person right from the beginning. Her dishonesty and questionable behavior go all the way back to her Tumblr days. Not many of her current followers might know this, but Mikayla used to be very popular on Tumblr. She had almost 60,000 followers there and posted a lot of content, including giveaways and tons of cringeworthy, silly posts, the kind of stuff you'd expect from a young girl trying to get noticed and become famous. However, that's not all. She also did a lot of other things during that time. For instance, she claimed to have been doing makeup for 16 years, and even said that she used to take clients at the age of 13 and was a makeup artist. Now, we don't know what you guys think about this, but just because you went to Sephora to buy makeup doesn't mean you are a makeup artist. Being a makeup enthusiast is very different from actually being a professional makeup artist. But let's cut her some slack for now. I mean, she was 13, and it's cute that she had that aspiration. Very few 13-year-olds discover their passion the way Mikayla did. However, there are some other things that have surfaced since she became famous that are a bit more questionable, even if she was just a child at the time. For starters, a lot of people who knew her back in the day have come forward with some pretty shocking stories. According to classmates, she was a proper bully and very mean to other girls. And that's not all. She was also apparently very homophobic, constantly posting things on her Tumblr that were just not okay. We came across this one text from a person who knew her at school, and it says that someone actually tried to take their life because of Mikayla. The text reads, "She is the reason someone tried taking their own life back in middle school. I was there for it. Her actions clearly still prove she is stuck in the same teenage fantasy land. I could never be jealous of someone who is so ugly on the inside. She cried wolf when Roe v. Wade was overturned because she feared her future, but she is and always will be in a safe state. She grew up in the boonies, not the Boston, and Bonnie doesn't sound like that. She has yet to come clean about her homophobic past. I remember the taunts from her and her friend growing calling me an F because of how close my best friend and I were. She won't speak about things she knows are true and happened. She won't open up about that because her best friend back then was trans." Now, this is a lot to take in at once because the person sharing these claims is genuinely still upset about what happened in high school, and the allegation that someone even considered taking their life over Mikayla is incredibly serious. However, we wouldn't be entirely shocked if some of this turned out to be true, especially considering the patterns Mikayla has displayed as a popular adult. She's repeatedly made homophobic and transphobic comments in her videos, calling drag queens clowns and making other inappropriate remarks. This behavior gives us some insight into the kind of person she is and might have been back in the day. We also came across this video of her from her Tumblr days, where she cleared up the rumor that she's trans, and the proof she gave was that she likes makeup and does her nails really well.
I'm not transgender, and I'm sorry if you thought that. I'm sorry if that offends you, if you're against trannies. If you are, I'm not one, so I will forever be a girl. I'm a real girly girl. I wear makeup. I have frilly, flowery shirts. I wear the pretty flip-flops. I do my nails, like, really nicely. I'm a girly girl. Just because I have a manly voice doesn't make me distinctively a man, and it does not make me transgender. So I just wanted to make that clear with you guys.
And while we couldn't find a lot of concrete proof regarding the bullying accusations, we did come across one particular thread of conversation between Mikayla and someone who appeared to be a classmate from her school trying to connect with her. The friend simply wanted to get some hot cocoa and hang out with her. However, in the messages, Mikayla is constantly commenting on what the other person is eating, calling it extra calories, and repeatedly reminding them to think about losing weight. This interaction gives a glimpse into her mindset at the time, and why some people viewed her behavior as controlling or judgmental even back then. In addition to this, we also came across a post she made on her old Facebook page which reads, "When will it be socially acceptable for us to hector fat people the way it is socially acceptable to hector smokers?" This post clearly reflects a problematic mindset, and shows that even in her earlier years, Mikayla was posting content that many would consider insensitive and offensive. However, we could still try to brush all of this under the rug by saying that she was just a kid at the time, and yes, teenagers make mistakes. But the thing is, adults are shaped by the people they were growing up with, and patterns like deceit, manipulation, and cruelty don't just vanish overnight. You don't get away with bullying people, lying, and deceiving others in your formative years and expect to enter adulthood without any consequences. While some of her actions as a child might be somewhat excusable, what really makes this situation horrifying is the revelation about her personal life at that age. It turns out that when Mikayla was only 14, she was dating a much older man, a 20-year-old man named Don, and she openly talked about him online. We came across an old video where she explains how she met her boyfriend on Tumblr, which is alarming on its own. But what makes this even worse is that her parents knew about the relationship, allowed it to happen, and did nothing to stop it.
To answer that question I'm getting every day and never have to answer it again because it's really annoying. But the question is, how did you and Dawn originally meet? So me and Dawn originally met, yes, on Tumblr, but we didn't actually meet on Tumblr. So here's what happened. This was early April. I met him when he had like just made his blog. He had it for like 2 weeks when I met him, maybe less. I don't know. But I had my blog for already a year and a half. So it's interesting because I made a post and I was like, Omega promo game, Tumblr as interest, and come find me. And so I was searching for people and I found all the people and I was done looking for people. So I was like, all right, I'll stay on and just talk to some of the people on Tumblr. So I was going around and I stopped at one point and I was like, hi, and they were like, hey. And I was like, hey, what's your URL? And they were like, New York famous. So I was like, oh, that's not quality, but I clicked on it anyways. And I have no idea why. I only follow quality blogs, and he had like a vertical New York City blog, and I was like, I only follow quality, so I can't follow you. But then we started talking on Omegle, and
people even back in the day warned her against it. But she was a young girl, and realistically, the responsibility lies more with her parents than with her. Speaking of her parents, this situation also raises a lot of red flags about them. Allowing a 14-year-old to be involved with a man 6 years older is deeply troubling. It's not just about Mikayla's actions as a young teen. It's about the environment she was growing up in, the people who were supposed to protect her, and the choices that were normalized for her during those formative years. All of this context doesn't excuse her later actions, but it does give insight into how patterns of behavior, exposure to questionable situations, and lack of guidance may have influenced the person she's become. Now, since then, Mikayla has actually addressed this whole situation in some of her later videos. She admitted that her boyfriend Don had groomed her and that at the time she didn't know any better. However, around 2 years ago, people also discovered something else about Mikayla's personal life. The fact that she actually has an older half-sister. Up until that point, everyone only knew about her brother Nate, whom she's featured in a few videos and mentioned occasionally, like that time she talked about his pet spider on TikTok.
Are you kidding me? Let me tell you exactly what it was like having a spider as a pet. My brother, bless his soul, he was very into exotics and reptiles and shit.
Everybody who followed Mikayla knew she lived with her parents and brother, so the existence of a half-sister came as a total surprise until Mikayla herself brought her up in a video. After that, Reddit investigators dug up an old psychology paper Mikayla had written in high school, and it was about her half-sister Amber. In this paper, Mikayla revealed that Amber, who shares a father with her, ran away from home when Mikayla was just 3 years old. Here's how she described it. When Mikayla's father, Michaela Nogueira, split from Amber's mother, things became tense. After Michael remarried Mikayla's mom, Amber no longer felt loved or wanted in the home, so she eventually ran away. Then 9 years later, when Mikayla was 12 years old and Amber was 23, her half-sister contacted her through email, telling her how sorry she was for running away. Surprisingly, Mikayla had never heard of her half-sister from her father and was incredibly shocked to find out that she had one. When Mikayla told her parents about the email, they decided to invite Amber over for dinner. At this point, Amber already had a kid. Mikayla wrote in the paper that she felt extremely odd, strange, and uncomfortable meeting her sister because she didn't know her personally and knew nothing about her. She then went on to say that as their meeting continued, she started feeling comfortable with her sister and they bonded over their shared interest in makeup. But then Mikayla mentioned that she was shocked because her sister was not the kind of person she expected. She said she was disappointed that her sister dropped out of high school and that she was living on disability checks even though she was capable of working. After this meeting, Mikayla mentioned that Amber's visits became less frequent and she eventually lost the motivation to see her altogether because, of course, Amber wasn't the kind of sister Mikayla had imagined. At the time she wrote this paper, Mikayla noted that she hadn't seen her sister in years. There's another Reddit post about this situation that perfectly breaks down the entire paper. Amber was born in 1987, which makes her 11 years older than Mikayla. Mikayla said her sister ran away when she was 3 years old, which means Amber was only 14 when she left home and never looked back. This fact took a lot of people off guard. She was a minor when she ran away from home, and Mikayla's father never kept in contact with her or tried to find her. What's even more absurd is that Mikayla, at 12 years old, had never even heard about her sister until the sister herself reached out to her. That says a lot about her father's shortcomings. Even if Amber ran away, how could he completely forget about her and never mention her to his other children? And the fact that Mikayla, in her paper, only focused on her sister's financial situation was troubling on a whole new level. I mean, your sister disappeared when she was only 14, your father never kept in contact with her, and you're fixated on the fact that she dropped out of high school and lives off disability checks? And speaking of those disability checks, a lot of people agree that qualifying for disability is a lengthy process. You can't get disability benefits for no reason. As of now, it doesn't seem like Mikayla has a good relationship with her sister. Not only that, but she also doesn't appear to be very close to her brother either. There are posts on Reddit from people who claim to know her family, and they all said that Mikayla wasn't super nice to her brother. Not only that, but people also say she might be a little insecure about him because he's a very good-looking individual. The first video she ever posted with her brother got tons of comments appreciating his appearance. When people asked why Mikayla didn't feature him often, she replied by saying it was because she knew the kind of comments she would get about his looks. Now, besides her major controversies, Mikayla has also been involved in some much smaller, almost petty dramas with other creators. One such case involves a TikTok creator named Matthew Stevens. After digging through multiple videos and posts, we were able to piece together the story. Matthew Stevens is the owner of a small custom tanning brand called Illusion Bronze. What happened was that Matthew wanted Mikayla to review his products. He even publicly reached out to her, hoping for some exposure for his small startup. To his surprise, Mikayla even responded positively to his request and said she'd be testing and reviewing the products as soon as he sent them over. And that's exactly what Matthew did. In his mind, Mikayla would love his products. He had a lot of faith in them, and knowing Mikayla regularly uses body tanners, he was confident that her review would bring in customers. Fueled by that hope, he even took out a $10,000 loan and stocked up his inventory, thinking Mikayla's review would give him the boost he needed. Now, to be clear, this is definitely not Mikayla's fault. At this point, she had only promised to review the products. He didn't know for sure whether she would like them or whether her audience would even respond positively. But in his defense, this situation happened immediately after Mikayla made a video saying that she would no longer be reviewing products from smaller brands because they don't have the inventory to fulfill all the orders.
There's been a few instances where the indie brand cannot handle the capacity to fulfill all of those orders.
Fair enough, she has a platform that gives brands a lot of exposure. And if she would rather give that exposure to brands that can actually meet customer expectations, that makes sense. However, the issue is that Stevens didn't want to be one of those brands that couldn't fulfill orders. So he took a loan. But to his disappointment, the review that Mikayla had promised him never came. In January 2024, he posted a video on his TikTok page expressing his frustration that the review Mikayla promised never happened, and because of it, he was now in significant debt.
Mikayla just posted a response to my TikTok. I want to be very clear about why I made the decision to post that video. The day before yesterday, my followers were commenting on one of Mikayla's videos about her reviewing Illusion Bronze. And Mikayla made the decision to respond to them and say things like no and shut up, and proceeded to block a lot of people that are following me. That really triggered me because 2 weeks ago was when I told Mikayla that I had spent $10,000 on product. No, Mikayla did not tell me to spend $10,000 on product, but her knowing that I had just spent all that money on product, why is she responding to people in her comment section saying things like no and shut up and blocking them? So Mikayla, that is why I posted that video.
The whole situation was blown a little out of proportion because Mikayla didn't say no to him, nor did she make a proper review. She just kept this guy hanging for more than 4 months and did not deliver on her promise, even after he reached out to her directly multiple times.
I just want to clarify again, when she told me she was posting it tomorrow, she did not the next day tell me, oh, I'm so sorry, I was so busy, I didn't get to it. She didn't tell me that until 3 weeks later when I contacted her and said, hey, you said you were posting this the next day. I bought all this product. Then she said, oh, I'm sorry, I was too busy. I didn't get to it.
Anyways, he messages me again around, New Year's and lets me know that he had purchased 10,000 units or $10,000 worth of Tana, which I did not advise him to do that. That is a business decision that he made.
Mikayla did not advise me to do that, and I 100% did that on my own. And
However, after keeping him waiting for a very long time, Mikayla finally reviewed the products. But people pointed out that she still didn't show the real results. Many who had used the Illusion Bronze tanning products knew that it did not look the way it did on Mikayla. They said the color looked orange on her and accused her of using a spray tan instead of the Illusion Bronze products. Even Matthew himself explained why he thinks Mikayla did not use his products.
if I'm wrong, and I apologize for that. See, I've been airbrush tanning people for half of my life. And there's something called either a heavy hand or a light hand when you're airbrushing. And when somebody has a heavy hand, it's usually a bad spray tan or somebody inexperienced. They'll start out on one part of the arm, the higher part light, and then it gets really heavy as they pull down. And as somebody who's spray tanned a lot of people, that's what it appeared like to me.
In response, Mikayla claimed that the reason the results looked orange on her was that she had used a color grading filter.
The video has color grading on it. Let me take the color grading off and show you what I actually look like. This is with the color grading off.
Now, we don't know if she actually used the product properly, but one thing's clear. She still did not show the real results. She insisted that it was the filter causing the color difference. We really don't understand why someone would use a color grading filter when they're trying to demonstrate the results of a tanning product. The whole point of a review is to show how the product actually works, not to distort it with filters. It makes the whole thing seem even more misleading and absurd. At this point, it feels like the audience cannot get a single honest representation of the product, which defeats the entire purpose of a review. However, nothing Mikayla has ever done really compares to her money-grabbing brand event, which she called her wedding. Mikayla's wedding has been a hot topic ever since she announced she was getting married. For starters, a lot of people called out her collaboration with e.l.f. lipstick, criticizing it for being poorly executed and just blatantly money-grabbing in general. A few months before Mikayla's wedding, she started talking excessively about finding the perfect shade of lipstick for the big day.
I am on the hunt for my perfect wedding lip combo, and I have found another contender.
I've been on the hunt for the perfect nude glosses, and I think I found them.
She posted numerous videos trying out different shades, never quite satisfied, and people were genuinely invested in seeing what she would finally choose. But in the end, it all turned out to be one big promotional campaign for e.l.f. lipstick, which she and her brand created together specifically for her wedding.
Not only did I find my wedding lip combo, I created it. I'm so excited to finally be able to share with you my marriage material lip duo in partnership with e.l.f. Cosmetics. Here's the story. About a year ago, I was struggling to find a wedding lip combo, and I decided I'm gonna shoot my shot, and I reached out to e.l.f. and asked if they would be interested in doing something like this with me, and they said yes.
She even shot an ad for the lipstick in her wedding gown on her wedding day. Not only that, but she also had a full-fledged lipstick booth and makeup giveaways at the wedding. To put it simply, her wedding was filled with brand collaborations. Even though she initially said she wanted a small, intimate wedding, the event turned out huge, and she invited a lot of beauty influencers, people who mattered more from a business perspective than for emotional connections. Many people also pointed out that she invited very few family members, and instead chose people from the industry whom she had never even met. Here's a YouTube video of this creator reading out a post written by Mikayla's own best friend of 10 years.
So Mikayla sent me a save the date back in November. We've been friends for 10 plus years, but she never sent me an invitation. I texted her questioning it and she just read it. Well, I found out she dropped a bunch of real friends from her list so she could invite a bunch of fake influencers.
According to this post, Mikayla apparently disinvited a bunch of people, even her close friends, to invite more popular influencers to her wedding. Now we know it's her wedding, and if she wanted it this way, that's her choice. If she didn't want to invite her family, that's up to her. And if she wants to turn her wedding into a brand event, that's also her decision. But it's one thing to do something like this to your own wedding, and an entirely different thing to lie about it. When people started talking about her wedding and how she had partnered with so many brands to sponsor it, She posted a video saying that no one paid for a single thing at her wedding. According to her, she had so many brands there because she had asked them to display their logos, and they had generously agreed.
Whether you believe or not, what I'm about to say is none of my business. But what I'm going to tell you is that the video I made about these e.l.f. eyeshadows, I made $0. Saying I have like an endorsement by e.l.f. And I feel like a broken record saying that they didn't sponsor my wedding.
Now, this seems like a very strange thing to do at your wedding. Whether you love the brand so much that you want to do a free promotion for them or you're just really naive, it doesn't really make sense. It especially doesn't make sense for Mikayla to just show the brands in her wedding photos without any real partnership being involved. We mean, she takes thousands from brands for just one video. Why would she give free advertising for any brand like this? Honestly speaking, it was very clear that she was lying when she said that e.l.f. did not sponsor her wedding. But then again, this is Mikayla we're talking about. She never admits to anything she's done. However, if you think that the drama ended with her wedding, you are very wrong. Because even after her wedding, she managed to get involved in a whole bunch of other controversies and dramas. One controversy Mikayla managed to waltz into revolves around her brand, POV Beauty, short for Point of View Beauty. And if you guessed that the whole thing turned out to be shady and chaotic on a completely new level, congratulations. You know Mikayla's brand of drama by now. Honestly, no one really expected her to launch an entire beauty brand, especially when her online credibility is already hanging by a thread. We mean, who in their right mind would buy makeup from someone who'd lied about brands, reviews, and even her own appearance more times than we can count? And let's not forget, Lashgate 2.0 was still very fresh in everyone's mind when this brand popped up, which made the whole situation even more controversial and, well, kind of a joke. So back in March of this year, Mikayla finally launched POV Beauty. Before the launch, she teased it on TikTok, dramatically confessing that she'd been keeping a secret from her followers for 2 years and was finally ready to reveal it.
Hey! How y'all doing?
And of course, the internet did what it does best, jumped to conclusions. Everyone immediately assumed she was finally going to address the infamous Mascara-gate scandal and own up to lying to her audience in broad daylight. But, spoiler alert, that's not what happened. The video she posted definitely was not about mascara. The big secret Mikayla had been hiding for 2 years was her brand, POV Beauty. In her next TikTok, she dropped hints about launching a brand she'd apparently been working on behind the scenes all this time.
The last 2 years have all led up to this. I can't believe it's finally here. My whole life, my whole world is about to change. And I'm terrified, if I'm honest. But the last 5 years as a content creator, I kept asking myself, what's next for me? You know, what is my legacy? And now I know the answer. Every day I am grateful for the privilege to have the community that I do. And you guys have supported me wholeheartedly over the last 5 years. I genuinely could not do this without you. I wouldn't do this without you. You have built up my confidence. You have helped me improve as an artist, become a better person, realize what I deserve in life. And I hope I've inspired you in some way too. 2 years ago, I started working on a project that means the entire world to me. And it's finally ready to be in your hands. And I'm really emotional about it because it's 2 years of keeping secrets from you and working behind the scenes to bring this project and this vision to life. And now it's actually about to happen. What I am about to reveal to the world is something I am so incredibly proud of. It's a project with meaning, something that actually matters, something that makes a difference. My community has inspired me so much over the years to be myself, and not just that, but own who I am. And with this project, I want to do the same thing for you. I want to inspire you to love who you are, to be yourself, to try every single day. Give yourself the credit you deserve. We all have a story. We all deserve to be heard. And we all have something about us that makes us unique. But don't forget that what makes us different is actually what we have in common. And I wouldn't have it any other way. We all have a point of view, and I'm excited to share mine with you. And I hope that it inspires you to share yours. Like I said, my whole life is about to change. And I'm really scared, but I know I have you guys as a shoulder to cry on. And I'm ready. I'm excited. I know I can do this. I know I can be a founder, and I know I can make you proud. I love you guys. It's time, and I'm finally ready.
Now at this point, pretty much everyone assumed she was coming out with a makeup line. I mean, that's her whole thing. Makeup is Mikayla's identity online. People were expecting an eyeshadow palette, a foundation range, maybe even a highlighter, something that screamed beauty guru. But when POV Beauty finally launched, it wasn't makeup at all. It was a skincare line comprising 5 products to be exact, and that left everyone scratching their heads like, why skincare?
Much better.
In response to all the confusion, Mikayla did a few interviews and explained her logic. According to her, she wanted POV Beauty to be a one-stop shop for makeup lovers starting from the very first step, skin prep. She basically said she wanted to build the brand from the ground up, beginning with skincare. This is what she said exactly about her brand. As a self-taught makeup artist who learned from beauty education books and hands-on experience in beauty retail, I know that great makeup starts with great skin prep. Before my career as a creator, I saw so many people at my retail job facing the same challenge. There wasn't a brand that made skin prep simple. That inspired me to create Point of View Beauty. I wanted to take everything I've learned over the years and give my community the tools of master makeup on their own terms. Let's pause on something Mikayla said because it's interesting. She claimed that there wasn't a single brand out there making skin prep simple and that this was her grand inspiration behind creating POV Beauty. Well, the internet had a collective eye-roll moment over that one, because really, no brand makes skin prep simple. Before we dive deeper, let's take a look at the products themselves. POV Beauty launched with 5 items: a priming milk, a glow serum, a moisturizer, a primer, and a lip treatment. And if that lineup sounds familiar, that's because it kind of is. A lot of people immediately noticed that it looked suspiciously similar to Hailey Bieber's Rhode line. And not just Rhode, plenty of other skincare brands already offer the same type of minimal, glowy, clean girl aesthetic. So what exactly makes POV Beauty special? Honestly, nothing. From the packaging to the concept, it feels like another influencer cash grab dressed up as something luxurious. The moment POV Beauty hit the market, the feedback was brutal. People pointed out how the packaging looked lazy and uninspired, like someone threw Rhode in The Ordinary in a blender and called it a day. The brand's advertising was off from the start, and not just a little. Mikayla was promoting a skin prep line while wearing a full face of makeup, and we think this is weird.
Much better. Holy, it's insane. I am a brand founder, and the reaction has been beyond my wildest dreams. I am beyond excited to introduce to you Point of View. Do you know how hard it was to keep this a secret for 2 years? Drench it, soothing priming milk, drip it, nourish and glow serum, whip it, hydrate in whipped cream, glaze it, glazy tack primer, and amp it, the amplifying lip ampule. And let me make something very clear. Fragrance-free, suitable for sensitive skin, vegan, cruelty-free, non-toxic, clean, made in Korea with a potent blend of Korean-inspired ingredients, dermatologist-approved, clinical and consumer claims to back them up. Designed to be layered and beautifully pair with your makeup. I'm not around.
She's out here preaching the importance of good skin prep, yet can't even show her own skin. People definitely noticed, and honestly, some were offended by it. If you're selling skincare, authenticity should be your best friend. Talking about bare skin while hiding it under foundation? Yeah, it's not a great look. Plenty of creators caught on to the same thing. Jeffree Star, for instance, jumped on social media and completely roasted Mikayla, calling out her recycled packaging and the fact that she was once again caked up in makeup during her brand photo shoot.
Rich Lux, I want you to write in the chat right now, what do you think about this? I mean, it's just so uninspiring. I look at this and I feel dead inside. The Ordinary and Road combined. I'm so uninspired. I'm not kidding. I really thought it was gonna be like a moment. And the brand is called Point of View. The only point of view I have is that you're a liar. And you never apologized or acknowledged it. You just kept it moving and thought you were the cash cow and the money was just gonna keep pouring in. So I'm never gonna acknowledge my mistakes. That's what she told y'all last year. Okay, well, I'm boarding a flight in 30 minutes, so I was actually really excited for this. I was like, okay, she's made so much money. She's gonna find the best labs. It's gonna be the coolest packaging. And then you're launching a skincare brand and your ad is in full makeup. What does that have to do with your serum? Yeah, of course, Catherine, because teen girls are influenced by people and they don't fully have a developed brain yet. That's what's disappointing. So y'all are gonna waste your money on someone that don't really give a about y'all. That's what's confusing. Full makeup for a skincare line? And the Photoshop, girl.
He's definitely not wrong here. It's 2025. The glamorous skincare launch thing is outdated. Consumers now want to see the results. Another thing that people noticed was the comment section under her videos. If you scrolled through Mikayla's own TikTok posts about POV Beauty, you'd think she was breaking sales records. Everything was just positive affirmations, endless you go girl comments, and good luck wishes. But the moment the same brand got posted on another Instagram page, the tone flipped instantly. Those comments were brutal, sarcastic, unimpressed, and at times downright mean. The contrast was so obvious that people started wondering if Mikayla's own comment sections were being, well, filtered. A lot of people have already made their predictions about where POV Beauty is headed, and let's just say the consensus isn't exactly optimistic. Many joked that it's only a matter of time before Mikayla's products show up in the clearance aisle at TJ Maxx. Why? Because the brand simply doesn't bring anything new or exciting to the already overcrowded skincare scene. But here's an interesting twist. Mikayla isn't actually the CEO or sole owner of POV Beauty. She's clarified multiple times that she's just the founder, meaning she came up with the concept and vision, but the real business side is handled by other people. Some actually think that might save the brand from a total flop, since it's being run by qualified professionals instead of being just another influencer vanity project. Mikayla even mentioned that she flew to Korea and spent hours in labs working with experts to bring her products to life.
I am not okay. I'm going to Korea. Like, what? I'm going to Korea. I am not okay.
Ah, yes. A year ago, I was crying about going to Korea, but what you didn't know is that I secretly went to Korea to go to Korean labs and work directly with Korean chemists to formulate my products. Point of View is formulated, made, and manufactured in Korea. They are truly first in class with skincare and make the best formulas in the world. And I am so grateful my products are made here. It is so satisfying to watch my products be brought to life. Here you can see Whip It getting put into the jazz. Look at how creamy. I told you it looks like Cool Whip. I want to eat it. One thing I've learned since becoming a founder is that there are so many pieces to make this puzzle. And this is one of them. The thousands and thousands of products being filled. They quality check it. They make sure it's perfectly packaged and ready to go. Here you can see they're checking every lock on Glaze It to make sure it works. It's one thing to say my products are made in Korea, but to be able to say I actually got to go, work directly with, and meet the chemists who make my products. I first went to Korea a year ago to formulate my products, and then I spent that entire year perfecting them. And now we're here. And they're being filled to be in your hands. And the journey to get to this point has been inspiring. I have learned so much as a founder behind the scenes, and I can't wait to share more of that with you. One thing about Point of View is I truly want you to see it all. I want to take you on this journey with me. This is my first time learning how to be a founder, so why not take my community along with me? Match 26 cannot come soon enough.
She's partnered with her CEO and co-founder, Annie Hajinian, a seasoned beauty industry veteran with over 2 decades of experience. This woman has helped shape massive brands like Augustinius Bader, Bobbi Brown, and Tom Ford Beauty, so she clearly knows what she's doing. On top of that, Mikayla also teamed up with Imaginary Ventures, a venture capital firm that's backed several successful retail brands. So no, POV Beauty didn't just appear out of thin air, as there's some serious backing and expertise behind it. Does it lack originality? Definitely. Did Mikayla fumble the marketing? Absolutely. But is the product itself a total disaster? Not really. Once you look past the messy launch and uninspired branding, you'll notice that most reviews aren't terrible. People may not love the packaging, but many agree that the actual products are decent.
Difference or a change in what things look like, if I get more oily or less oily. So I'm gonna go do a makeup really quickly, just do a very soft glam. I will say overall, especially when it comes to like seeing the yucca, it being cleaner, I am impressed. I'm really impressed with a lot of it. Do I feel like, you know, sometimes overdoing it with skincare can be, you know, like overdone? Sure, like I feel like if you just moisturize before, get some moisture.
But here's another thing besides the packaging and out-of-touch advertisements: the prices. While Mikayla's products might not be bad, they're definitely not groundbreaking either. Many beauty experts pointed out that the ingredients in POV Beauty products are things you can easily find in other skincare lines, and for way cheaper.
Mikayla is not trying to change the game of skincare with POV. She is trying to put her mark on a new positioning for marketing in terms of this skin prep story, and she is trying to make Made in Korea with this harmonized viewpoint where she synthesizes trends in this genius TikToker way that she's done on her platform for 5 years.
For example, the complete POV Beauty set sells for a jaw-dropping $142 on her website. Sure, her diehard fans might rush to buy it just because it's Mikayla's brand. But let's be real, spending that much on something so basic feels like throwing money out the window. You could get similar products from the Inky List or The Ordinary for a fraction of the price. And honestly, if you're gonna copy the entire aesthetic of Rhode, maybe make it cheaper so people actually want to buy it. After her brand launched, yet another story came out that made people side-eye POV Beauty even harder. A small business based in Canada claimed that Mikayla had straight up stolen their name and ideas. According to them, they'd been using the name POV Beauty for years, with a nearly identical lineup of products already on their website. Now, whether this was just an unfortunate coincidence or a deliberate move, no one can say for sure. But let's be honest, given Mikayla's long, well-documented history of half-truths and shady behavior, a lot of people didn't exactly give her the benefit of the doubt. The internet was quick to assume that yes, she might have borrowed the name from someone else too. Around the time POV launched, there was also a lot of discussion around shipment delays. A lot of people posted on Reddit and other platforms, as well as commented on her videos complaining about their order being delayed. People at that time assumed that she was prioritizing sending PR packages to influencers over shipping pre-orders to people who actually paid for the products. People also thought that her customer service was actually very bad, considering the fact that she'd been building this business secretly for 2 years. So in every sense possible, POV Beauty didn't just launch, it crash-landed into a pile of controversy. From copycat accusations to bad marketing and overpriced products, the brand started off surrounded by bad buzz. Around the time POV Beauty launched, something else very substantial and pretty troubling was happening in Mikayla's life. Something people had already been speculating about for months. After the launch of her beauty brand, and even a bit before it, fans started noticing that her husband Cody was practically missing from her videos. It's not like he was ever a major part of her content, but he used to pop up here and there. So his complete disappearance naturally set off alarms among both her fans and her critics. And of course, the internet did what it did best. It started theorizing. Suddenly, there were rumors everywhere. Some people claimed that Mikayla and Cody were getting divorced, while others suggested Cody might have gone back to rehab. Because thanks to Mikayla herself, millions of followers already knew about his past struggles with addiction. Right after their wedding in 2023, Mikayla made Cody sit down in front of the camera and share his entire story about how he had battled drug addiction and fought his way to recovery. So when he suddenly vanished from her content, people didn't exactly need much convincing to start connecting the dots.
Hey guys, it's Cody. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Cody.
But no, seriously, thank you guys for all the kind words that you've said. I mean, just everything has been so crazy. All my life, I was just sad, you know, even before I found drugs. I was just like a sad person. I didn't feel accepted. I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. Like I was never part of a group. So when I did find drugs, you know, that gave me people to be around who I thought were friends at the time, and it helped me escape from self. So I never really pictured a life, you know. I didn't think I would live to see 18, then I turned 18, I'm like, well, it's 21, and then I turned 21, and I was still alive. So I was like, you know, this isn't what I want. Like, I'm not going anywhere, obviously. I had ruined relationships with my family, all my friends. My addiction had taken me to Alaska and to Wyoming. And then it took me to Massachusetts. So when I had reached the end of my rope, I came out here about 2.5 years ago. And I spent my last $400 on a plane ticket out here, and I had $19 when I landed in Logan Airport. Just broken. Just like a broken, hopeless addict. So when I got to my detox and my rehab, I just listened. I was so done and ready that I would have the building if that meant that I was gonna figure out a way to live my life without craving drugs or alcohol. And I listened, and I did my steps, and I participated in groups, speaking, and a few months pass as I'm writing my 4th step, and I wake up one day and the first thought in my head wasn't like, I'm not good enough, or that like you don't deserve to be here, or that you're worthless, and my sobriety's led me here, to this beautiful home that Michaela and I have worked so hard for, and I'm just so thankful to be in like a position to be able to do this, and I'm so proud of her for working so hard. And thank you guys for supporting Michaela through everything. It means the world to both of us.
We love you!
That video is supposed to be inspirational, but viewers picked up on something else entirely. Cody looked incredibly uncomfortable sitting there, while Michaela seemed a little too focused on the camera instead of, well, her husband. People felt like she was trying to cash in on his addiction story for views. And honestly, the constant smiling during such a heavy topic didn't help her case. And no, we're not being nitpicky, that's literally what people were saying at the time. So when Cody vanished from her videos around 2025, everyone immediately assumed it had something to do with his addiction. Michaela herself started dropping hints in her posts, saying that despite the vacations, sponsorships, and brand deals, she was going through something serious in her personal life. She kept suggesting that her mental health was in a really bad place, and even admitted that 2024 had been the worst year of her life. Then not long after her brand launch, she took to TikTok and confirmed what people had been speculating for months. She told everyone that Cody had relapsed in December, which led to them separating for a while. He was living in another apartment, and according to Michaela, things got so bad one night that the police had to get involved. After that, Cody went back to rehab.
My husband Cody is in rehab, and I'm ready to talk about it. Cody's story is not mine to share, but he has given me his blessing to talk about it today. I want to start off by saying I am incredibly proud of Cody. It takes an immense amount of courage to give up your will and enter treatment, and I could not be more proud. As many of you have noticed, for the last several months, Cody really has not been around, and now you know why. A lot of you have put 2 and 2 together. Many of my longtime loyal followers, Cody being an addict is not news. He has shared his story openly on TikTok. Cody has struggled with addiction from a very young age, and I knew Cody was an addict when I met him. When I met him, he was living in sober living, and he had just gotten out of rehab. He moved from Nevada to Massachusetts to go to treatment here, and the only reason he stayed is because he met me. Understand, sobriety, recovery, is not linear. Addiction is a disease, and it's very complex, and unless you yourself or someone very close to you has struggled with addiction, it's hard to understand. Relapsing is a part of the recovery process, not a failure. January 2024, my husband relapsed on drugs. In April 2024, my husband relapsed on alcohol. I am not new to addiction or addicts, but what I am new to is marrying one. And putting on a brave face the entire year of 2024 was the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. There's a reason addiction is known as a family disease, because it doesn't just impact the individual, it impacts everyone around them. 2024, I faced some of the scariest nights of my life. I'm talking calling the police because I'm scared my husband's gonna die. To anyone who has had a spouse or a family member who struggles with addiction, you know what I mean when I say, I didn't know who that person was anymore. I felt like I had lost my husband. I figured I was gonna cry at some point in this. Addiction's really bad, guys. Whether it's you facing it or the people around you. Sure, many of you remember I had a little bit of a mental breakdown in December. I watched his addiction worsen, and it became so hard in our home. And I had to make the really difficult decision to remove Cody from our home. He ended up getting his own apartment, and I said, you need to figure it out. Because as much as I can try to get Cody to want to be sober, he has to want to be sober. The addict is the one who has to get sober. I no longer could enable it, and I couldn't be around it. Now remember this, isolation is the devil's playground. So Cody being alone in this apartment, hopeless, struggling bad with addiction, he's losing me, he's about to lose everything. He hit rock bottom. Remember when he got the apartment, I secretly took one of the keys because I was so scared that if he overdosed or hurt himself, I wouldn't have a way to get in.
After this, the internet exploded. While some people were supportive, many others accused Mikayla of once again turning someone else's pain into her own content. Even though she clarified that Cody had given her permission to share his story, people still felt like she was making his addiction about her. And honestly, given her history, it's not hard to see why that rubbed people the wrong way. What's interesting is that this video garnered millions of views within hours, meaning millions of people were suddenly involved in this deeply personal situation. Many viewers and commentary channels pointed out that this kind of massive viewership put an unnecessary amount of pressure on Cody. He now knew that countless people were watching his recovery unfold, all thanks to Mikayla giving them a front row seat to his life. If he managed to complete rehab successfully, millions would witness his comeback. But if he failed, those same millions would watch him fall apart. So yeah, probably not the healthiest setup for someone struggling with addiction. There's a chance Cody understood all of this and still gave his permission after weighing the risks, but the internet was still collectively shaking its head. People also argued that Mikayla was once again using Cody's addiction issues as content fuel. It rubbed people the wrong way, not necessarily because she shared the news, but because she wouldn't stop sharing. She kept posting updates about his recovery, including multiple "get ready with me to visit my husband in rehab" videos. Because apparently everything in life needs a GRWM now.
Ready with me to visit my husband in rehab. I look forward to this every single week. The past month, my husband has been in rehab for drug and alcohol addiction, and once a week we do a little cafeteria date. And she's sitting like right next to us.
She even went as far as posting photos of his recovery coins on TikTok, and that's when people completely lost it. Most agreed it was a terrible idea to turn Cody's recovery journey into public entertainment, especially when he was still in the middle of it. It didn't come off as supportive, it came off as content farming at its finest. Around April 2025, Mikayla proudly announced on her channel that Cody was finally coming home. She made a whole TikTok about it, beaming with excitement and explaining how she was going to make his transition out of rehab as easy as possible.
Today, my husband Cody comes home from rehab. He completed his 45-day treatment program, and I am getting ready to go pick him up, and he's moving back into our home. Coincidentally, today is also Cody's 27th birthday. I am extremely excited. I miss my husband. He has not fully been in my life since December. Cody's my partner and my best friend. I love him with all my heart. I am also extremely nervous and scared. Cody has not fully been in my life since December, and the Cody that I know right now is the one in active addiction. In 2024, that brought me a lot of pain and trauma. But you know, Cody said to me, it's almost like it's our first date all over again, because I am technically about to meet a new Cody in sobriety.
But here's the catch. A lot of people started noticing some inconsistencies in her story. After Cody came home, viewers spotted wine bottles stashed around her house, which was weird, because why on earth would there be alcohol lying around when your husband just came out of rehab? Not exactly the best environment for someone in recovery, right? And that's not even it. She also threw a housewarming party where everyone was drinking heavily. Alcohol was everywhere, and Cody was also at the party. When Mikayla posted glimpses of this on TikTok, people were instantly triggered. TikTok users flooded her comments, calling her out for being a hypocrite and not taking her husband's recovery seriously. Things even escalated to a point where people started a whole Save Cody hashtag.
This post is for Cody. Let's save Cody. Hashtag save Cody from Mikayla. What she did was disrespectful.
And just when things couldn't get any worse for Mikayla, the ring controversy happened. For a bit of context, Mikayla had previously shared that Cody sold his beloved truck to buy her an engagement ring. People loved that gesture and praised him for it. But after Cody came back from rehab, Mikayla told her followers that the wedding ring no longer fit because she had lost a lot of weight. She hinted that she might either get it resized or buy a new one altogether. So when Cody returned, she posted a video unboxing her brand new wedding ring with Cody sitting right next to her. She also revealed that she had sold the old engagement ring. And that did not sit well with her audience. The ring had sentimental value. Cody literally sold something he adored to get it for her. Instead of resizing it, she just replaced it with a flashier, much bigger one. People also noticed that Cody didn't look too thrilled about the whole thing, though that might just be his personality. Still, when you put every aspect of your relationship online, people are gonna have opinions. That's the trade-off.
Watching this, I just felt really bad for her husband. Like, it made me really sad. He just gets out of rehab. He's trying to get better. He's trying to improve herself. She gets him on camera and she goes, "A company sent me new wedding rings. They're my dream wedding rings." So I guess the ones he gave her weren't good enough. The ones that he sold his truck to get for her weren't good enough. They weren't her dream ring. And now we're gonna like unbox my dream wedding rings that this company gave me. And he just had to sit there and do the video with her. Like, fresh out of rehab. And like, I don't know about you, but I think like if it was just a ring, it would be different. But she's like, "I have a new wedding ring now," and it's not even from him. Like, it's supposed to be a thing about your relationship, right? I'm sure I'm gonna get hate. I'm sure y'all are gonna be like, "Oh, you're hating on her. Let her do what she wants. You can do whatever you want. You can have 5 rings. I don't care." I just felt really bad for her husband in this moment. I felt like it kind of was like a, "You're not good enough. What you did for me wasn't good enough." If it was any other ring, if it was just like a fun ring, I totally get it. But just the fact that she was replacing the wedding ring and engagement ring that he got for her right when he got out of rehab, that made me angry. And then he goes and he gets on one knee and re-proposes with the ring that the brand sent her that he didn't get for her. It makes me sad. For me, at least, it would never matter how much money I acquire in my lifetime. Whatever engagement or wedding ring I end up with, I would be so happy with. And it would remind me of that period of our lives. And I get maybe like him upgrading her ring later. I get it. I get it if it was a different ring, but just the principle of it makes me feel mad. Also, like, the dude hadn't been out of rehab for a week and she pulls this. And another thing is, like, until now, they've been living separately since December. And she's been actively posting about how they're trying to rebuild their relationship. And he's smiling. I see him smiling. I see him comforting her, like being a part of the video. It just rubs me the wrong way. It feels a bit out of touch. Come over here if you want to hear me talk more.
Around this time, Mikayla also addressed the backlash about the housewarming party. She said people were sick for judging her and explained that she had discussed it with Cody beforehand. According to her, Cody was 6 months into recovery and completely fine being around alcohol.
For real right now. We had a housewarming patty. I had alcohol at the housewarming patty. Let's talk about it. A lot of people have a lot of opinions about things that Cody and I do in our marriage. Rightfully so. I posted on the internet. But there's a couple things I need you to consider. Cody's been sober for 6 months. Do you ever consider that Cody himself is extremely proud of himself that he was able to have a housewarming patty with alcohol and coexist at this patty with no desire to drink? Did you ever consider that? And you're not going to tell Cody what is too soon. It's not your recovery. You have zero say in how soon Cody should be around alcohol. The second thing I want you to consider, do you think I just do things without talking to my husband? Don't you think we had a conversation weeks leading up to this patty about what beverages would or would not be served? What's disrespectful is you assuming that I just said Cody and brought a bunch of alcohol into the house without having a conversation with him. Are you serious? The way everybody goes about their own recovery is different. And one thing I need you to understand is that Cody doesn't like to be tiptoed around, okay? He wants to be integrated into a space just like everybody else. About 100 people at this housewarming party. You think because of one person there's gonna be no alcohol? That's not how recovery works, okay? The dream in recovery is go where any free man can go, without the temptation, okay? The only reason an alcoholic is gonna drink is because of the alcoholic, not because of the people around them or the alcohol in the room. People keep painting me like I'm some villain with Cody. Like, I'm not holding this man captive, okay? We've been together 5 years. If he wanted to leave, his ass could leave, okay? He brings me flowers and cards, and he tells me he loves me every 5 seconds. That's because I'm a good wife, okay? I stand on my 10 toes about that, okay? I stood by Cody's side when he was at the worst, lowest moment of his life. I stayed, just like he has stayed for me. So the fact that there was alcohol at this party, no one gives a except for the internet, who's blowing it out of proportion. And I saw another post about how Cody was like on the couch in his phone, feeling uncomfortable in the situation. Wrong-o! It was like 1 a.m., bro. We were cleaning up, we were having fun. He was just chilling. He was literally just chilling. There was no alcohol at that point. He was just relaxing. It was 1 a.m. You're not gonna sit here and tell me what is or is not disrespectful in my marriage that you're not in. You know something else? Cody doesn't have TikTok, okay? He's not gonna see your video. And you know why he doesn't have TikTok? Because of people like you.
To be fair, we agree with Mikayla here. Everyone's recovery journey looks different. For some, being around booze is a huge risk, but for others it isn't. Ultimately, it's up to Cody to decide what he's comfortable with. Still, maybe casually showcasing bottles of wine in your TikToks when your husband just got out of rehab wasn't the best look. Now, another thing we want to discuss about Mikayla is the charity dramas and giveaway scams that she has allegedly been involved in multiple times. So the first thing we want to talk about is the GoFundMe she created nearly 2 years ago. There was so much drama about it, and people were just confused at Mikayla's blatant audacity. So here's what happened. Mikayla partnered with Hair Raising and Chris Appleton to create a GoFundMe and raise money for the Heart Center at Children's Boston Hospital. Here's what the GoFundMe stated. By donating a minimum of $5 and commenting on their social posts, you will also be entered into Chris and Mikayla's giveaway to win a brand new Chanel bag. 2 winners will be chosen at random on April 15th, 2023. And a lot of people were pissed at this because both influencers involved in this fundraiser were super rich. They could have donated the money themselves or simply set up a GoFundMe account with all this giveaway nonsense and trying to get engagement on their pages. What makes this whole situation even messier is that GoFundMe doesn't even allow giveaways to be attached to fundraisers. It's literally against their rules. So just a few days after the page went live, it was deleted. But the people who actually donated, they were never refunded. And according to the rules that Mikayla and her influencer friend themselves mentioned, anyone who donated and commented on their pages should have received those Chanel bags. When people started asking questions and repeatedly pressed Mikayla about what happened to the GoFundMe, she suddenly acted clueless. She replied to one of the comments saying that she wasn't affiliated with the fundraiser at all. She just posted about it out of goodwill. That confused a lot of people though, because in the fundraiser description, her name was literally mentioned, and even her account was tagged. So if she had nothing to do with it, why was she promoting it and directing people to her page through that GoFundMe? And mind you, this was right after the whole Lashgate controversy. So it naturally left people fuming. It wasn't looking like an oops moment anymore. It was looking like Mikayla's brand image was built on one messy controversy after another. Apart from this, sometime in 2023, she also partnered with a beauty brand named Glamlight. She swore by their products and urged all her followers to purchase from them. Sometime into this partnership, she announced that she would be donating half her earnings from Glamlight to charity. Well, a brilliant and generous move, right? Except that the audience never got to know which charities she donated to. There are numerous posts on Reddit suggesting that anyone who tried to contact Mikayla or asked about the charity either got ignored or blocked. There are comments from people who actually bought these Glamlight palettes, thinking she would donate something to charities, but they never got any update from her about it. Meanwhile, a lot of people pointed out that she was giving out gifts worth thousands of dollars to her friends and to Cody. If she had no problem flaunting her luxurious spending habits on TikTok, then why was she suddenly so reluctant to share details about the charities she supposedly donated to? The one time she actually addressed this, she ended up sounding pretty lame. She claimed that gathering the accounting for such a big charity would take time. Well, it's been 2 years, Mikayla. We're still waiting. And that's not the only time she's been accused of scamming her audience. Back in 2023, she announced a huge giveaway filled with expensive items. But many people believed she only posted those giveaways for attention because no one ever seemed to actually receive anything. Some even suggested that it looked like she was just pulling random items from her own collection, labeling them as giveaways and never following through. It's very amusing that she's reluctant and private about doing charities, but doesn't have a problem spending thousands of dollars on useless shopping hauls. She's been under a lot of fire recently over some TikTok videos she posted about a recent clothing haul. You need to brace yourself for what we're about to tell you next. Mikayla Nogueira recently spent more than $200,000 on designer bags, shoes, and clothes. Prior to uploading these videos, she teased her audience by posting multiple pictures of huge boxes and piles of parcels stacked around her house. Initially, people thought it was just another rage bait buyer. But in no way can one person buy this much stuff in one sitting. But unfortunately, they were wrong, because Mikayla went ahead and posted not just one, but multiple TikTok videos showing off her super expensive designer bags, shoes, and luxury clothing that easily cost her thousands of dollars. Some of the items in this haul were so ridiculously expensive that an average person could live off that money for an entire month. It was just painfully tone deaf and completely out of touch. And the worst part, she started the video by saying she had blacked out and bought all this stuff.
So, I blacked out. Kinda bad. So let's do my biggest luxury unboxing literally ever. Literally feel like Becca Bloom right now. Let's start with Prada. In my shopping blog, this was the bag you guys wanted me to get the most. And it was not a question.
Seriously, how do you black out and spend that much money? Especially at a time when people are literally struggling to put food on the table. Yet here she is, proudly flaunting her overconsumption like it's some kind of achievement. She's tone deaf on a whole new level, and people ruthlessly pointed that out in the comments section of her video. Before we go further, let's just take a look at how much some of the items from Mikayla's recent shopping spree actually cost.
This is the closest one I can find, and this translates to like 9,000 US dollars.
Clearly, I'm gonna be
1,940.
so nice with all my full.
4,400.
Like the Cham. Oh my god.
500.
Style.
995.
It's so nicely.
2,300.
Oh my god.
1,350.
They're so
1,320.
shiny black heel.
1,130.
Like a poncho vest.
3,850.
Leather jacket. You cannot go wrong.
7,850.
Really nice.
4,450.
You're kidding. Like
Also, just like the bag, this is the only fur jacket that was like similar. 27,500. So I'm just gonna guess that the one that she got is around that price.
the sweater dress that you guys saw me try. That was so Chanel.
10,900.
The gold.
3,225.
Well, we seriously have no words. What is interesting about this whole situation is the fact that most people agree that the designer bags she was swooning over didn't even look expensive or stylish enough. After she posted these videos, influencers across all social media platforms started calling her out. People were literally annoyed by her tone-deaf content, and to be honest, we don't disagree with a lot of them.
You purchase hundreds and thousands of dollars of luxury goods, and we're the ones that are out of touch with reality? What the
People also argued that at this point, it seems like Mikayla is trying to rebrand herself as a fashion icon, even though we all know her brand is supposed to be about makeup and skincare.
This might not be revolutionary, but I think Mikayla Nogueira, whatever her name is, I think she's repositioning away from makeup into fashion so that she can get bigger brand deals and stop getting makeup in the mail and start getting actual wearables in the mail. And that's my thought on why she did that big $200,000 haul, is to reposition herself not just in makeup, but in fashion as a whole. What do you guys think?
One post worth highlighting here pointed out something hilarious yet painfully true. Why doesn't Mikayla ever black out and donate to charity? We've seen her be incredibly non-transparent when it comes to giveaways or donations, but somehow she has zero hesitation in showing off her insanely expensive luxury items. What's weird and honestly kind of annoying is that some of her hardcore fans, the ones who treat her like she's royalty, actually defended her behavior. They don't think there's anything wrong with her overconsumption habits at all. Now sure, there are countless influencers who love flaunting luxury goods online. But people are especially frustrated with Mikayla because when she first started on social media, she was different. She used to sit in front of the camera, talk like a normal person, and share makeup routines that felt real and relatable. That authenticity is what helped her build an audience of over 17 million followers. But now, with her constant overconsumption, unnecessary flaunting, and rage-baiting antics, it feels like she's losing touch with the audience that made her famous in the first place. People have even made comparison videos showing how she used to talk about shopping and clothing hauls in her early days versus now, and the difference is honestly shocking.
Nogueira is low-key a perfect example of when wealthy people can't come to terms with the fact that they were high-key happier and more satisfied with life when they had less available to them. This was how Mikayla reacted to buying luxury items for herself 4 years ago in 2021.
This is the bag. Oh my god. Perfect for me, am I right? It's absolutely perfect. It's everything I want in a Chanel bag. It's my color. But she had to open it, and this is the inside. It is. Oh my god. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the inside. Oh my gosh. Ah!
And this is Mikayla 4 years later, multi-millions richer.
This is the winter bag of my dreams. How cool. Like, very good casual sneaker, and look how cool the bottom is. I love that. Oh my god. You're kidding. Like, this is so freaking cute.
Like, if your reaction 4 years ago to spending a few grand on a few luxury items was, oh my god, I'm freaking out. Ah, this was made for me. This is my color. You guys, this is my color. To today, spending a few $100 on a luxury haul, and your reaction is, oh my freaking god, this is so cute. This is so sick. This is such a winter bag. It's like you're dead inside. Truly. You're dead inside. You're chasing a high that you're never ever gonna get again. And that's all that we're watching with these influencers spending and spending and spending, and you're wondering, you already have so much, why do you need more? Because they're chasing the feeling that they'll never get again. That's all it is. And when life loses that novelty, are you really happier now than you were then? When can wealthy people accept that having too much might not be the best thing in the entire world for them and society as a whole?
It is very evident that Mikayla is now trying to garner views through rage bait. She is shamelessly turned into this ultra-rich, super obnoxious, and tone-deaf influencer who lies through her teeth, hides her true personality from her audience, and only cares about pulling in views. Recently, she's also been getting a lot of backlash for a passive-aggressive comment that she left under Huda Beauty's post. For a bit of context, we want to highlight that Mikayla has been a huge fan of Huda Beauty's products. She's time and again praised her products and often talked about her in a positive tone. There's even a very wholesome review she posted about Huda's powder, and Huda responded to it in a very positive and affirming tone, telling her how much her feedback mattered and how big a fan she was of Mikayla.
This video is for Huda Beauty. I have a request. I know that my opinion probably doesn't matter.
It hella
but
matters.
I'm gonna put it out into the universe. I love your setting powder. I have it on this side of my face versus the side with none, and it blows me away every time. However, the fragrance in your setting powder burns the out of my eyes. I have a sensitive skin type, and the fragrance in your powder is very strong and hurts my eyes.
I hear
But
you.
It is one of my favorite powders.
I hear you. Oh,
and
boo.
I wish I could use it more. So I am here to ask if you would ever be willing to come out with a fragrance-free version of the same exact powder. If not, it's okay. Still love you. Still love you.
Okay, first of all, Mikayla, I love you. I am such a huge fan of yours. To know that you love our Easy Bake, you don't even know how happy that makes me. I know my whole team is gonna freak out when they find that out. I don't wanna make any promises yet, but I hear you. I hope you know.
In every sense possible, Huda is known in the beauty industry as a very positive person, so she's all hard work and no drama when it comes to social media. However, people started accusing Mikayla of posting a dishonest review of Huda Beauty's foundation some time ago. She called her foundation not lightweight and cakey. Well, people didn't exactly agree with her review. They called Mikayla out, accusing her of being dishonest and faking the entire thing.
Just kind of like drips.
It's not dripping down my face.
Beautiful, thin formula.
Not too thin.
Before, and this is the after.
I don't think it's for me.
Is Huda Beauty lying, or is Mikayla falsely accusing her?
Looks kinda cakey.
Drama on TikTok erupted after the TikToker Mikayla gave a negative review, saying that Huda's new foundation was heavy and cakey. However, people noticed that her skin appeared lighter when she applied sunscreen, but when she applied the foundation, her skin tone looked darker and different.
She already wanted to give this foundation a bad review.
Mikayla Nogueira did Huda Beauty dirty.
I am
obsessed with it.
They're saying she used another product intentionally to sabotage Huda, and people called her out in the comments, accusing her of being biased and only praising paid products. Huda didn't respond to her, but her fans clapped back on her behalf.
This foundation is a yes for me.
Stellar, wonderfully done. That is true inclusion.
After that, we never really saw her talk much about Huda again. There's clearly no open feud between them, but recently, when Huda posted about the launch of her new powder, Mikayla decided to drop this comment under the video. So excited for Sam to get her big fat check she deserves. I know you have that on the way for her. If you're confused, here's the backstory. Huda used to sell two powders called Peach Pie and Cherry Blossom. Influencers loved them both so much that they couldn't decide which one was better. Then one creator named Samantha, who's also connected to Huda Beauty, mixed the two together, and supposedly that inspired Huda to create a brand new product.
What is this? Oh, I know what this is.
Wait, before I reveal too much, let me take you back to where it all started.
Are you guys Team Pink or Team Peach?
I want to know.
The most important beauty question going around.
Pink or peach setting powder?
They're clearly very different.
Cherry blossom for cool undertones, peach pie for warm undertones.
I can't pick a favorite.
I like both. I don't know.
I love this formula so much, I'm probably gonna have both, honestly.
After all the heated debates, one of our community members created something iconic.
Everyone's Team Pink, everyone's Team Peach. Well, I'm Team both. I need the brightening of the pink, and I need the color correcting of the peach. I'm not a baker, but I'm about to make cherry pie.
I heard we're making cherry pie.
Equal parts cherry blossom and peach pie.
Looks natural, but also brightening at the same time.
This is about to be the most perfect brightening powder in the world. And it hit me. Everyone's been mixing shades, so why don't we make it easy for them?
Cherry, peach, and everything flawless. These were the ingredients chosen to create the ultimate duo.
Introducing our new Easy Bake Duo in cherry peach and pink pumpkin.
Why have one when you can have two?
So basically, Mikayla, our self-proclaimed beauty queen, decided that Samantha deserves to be paid for the inspiration. While Mikayla didn't directly criticize Huda in her comment, it was very obvious she was being passive-aggressive and sarcastic. And of course, it didn't take long for the internet to pounce. Within minutes, people were flooding the replies, telling her to mind your own business. And let's just say most of those comments were not friendly. In our opinion, this passive-aggressive attitude was completely unnecessary, because Sam is a big influencer who can fight her own battles and definitely does not need Mikayla to fight for her. And as a matter of fact, Sam is associated with Huda Beauty way before she was even friends with Mikayla. So this comment was very unnecessary and threw very clear jealousy vibes. Apart from that, Mikayla's AI filter game is still going strong. She's mentioned time and again that she no longer uses any kind of filters or facetunes in her videos. However, her social media tells a completely different story. On Reddit, you'll find numerous discussions breaking down her most recent AI-filtered videos. At this point, it's becoming so obvious that she still uses filters to tune her videos that her constant denial is laughable. If you don't use AI, Mikayla, then what is this? Is there any explanation for that lip liner just vanishing on your lips?
Use this with makeup on top. This is so pigmented. As you can see, you can build the color, so this is what it looks like with one layer, really natural. Let that dry, and then the second layer, look at that.
Or is there any explanation for you looking like a completely different person on your feed than in real life? And people are constantly posting your real-life photos showing just how different you look on your feed. At this point, we should just get past this debate of whether she uses AI filters or not, because everybody knows that she uses them. If she doesn't want to be real with her audience, that's totally her call. What's more important to point out here is that Mikayla isn't just being deceitful about her appearance online, but she's still being shady about her sponsorships. Despite having launched her own skincare line, she's still out here promoting other skincare brands. In the past few months alone, she's plugged at least 3 different ones, leaving people more than a little confused.
Morning skincare routine that leaves your skin looking like this every day? Yeah, you're gonna use Mix soon. You're gonna stat the routine.
Under her videos, fans keep asking the obvious question. Should they use her brand's products or the ones she's being paid to promote? And interestingly, Mikayla actually responded to one of these comments, saying that her brand is more about skin prep than skin care. Well, people have thoughts on that. Many beauty influencers called her out, saying she's just trying to spin the narrative, basically rebranding skincare as skin prep to make it sound different. Why? because she knows that if she officially labels POV Beauty as a skincare line, she'd have to stop taking all those lucrative skincare sponsorships. At this point, everyone knows POV Beauty is a skincare brand. Skin prep and skincare are essentially the same thing, and all the extra marketing fluff won't change that fact. Another major event that happened in Mikayla's life recently is the interview where the host literally asked Mikayla about the Mascara-gate controversy. It is just iconic.
Both of you also have dealt with some controversy in your influencer careers and also your brand journeys. You know, I think, Mikayla, we know about Mascara-gate, or most of you know about Mascara-gate. And Susan, you just revealed that you were going through an FTC investigation at the beginning of starting your career.
Pretty recently, Mikayla has also found herself under heavy fire again, this time for posting about one of her so-called crazy fans named Emma. She uploaded a TikTok video practically in tears, explaining how a girl named Emma had left a note at her doorstep. According to Mikayla, the letter said that Emma's mother had died by suicide and that Emma wanted to tell Mikayla how much she adored her.
This is probably gonna be me crying on the internet again, but I feel like an asshole right now because I was in a meeting and these two teenage girls came to my door. And I can't just leave my meetings to go see teenage girls at my door. But I noticed that they left a note and I just started reading it and it broke my hat. And without revealing who this person is, I want to read it because it's really, really sweet. But it says, "Dear Mikayla, my name is Emma. I'm a junior in high school. Growing up, my mom always loved makeup, so I got introduced at a young age. My mom passed away from suicide a few months ago. And I know you have no clue who I am, but you genuinely helped me so much. Whether that's just makeup tips or getting me through the death of my mom. I started watching your videos when you first, I can't even fucking see. Hold on. I started watching your videos when you first started to blow up on TikTok. I remember introducing your videos to my mom and telling her how much you inspired me in all different forms. I don't even know if you're gonna get this letter, but I hope you do. I'm writing this to thank you for everything you've done for me. During the past 4 to 5 years, you've impacted my life more than you will ever know, and I want to thank you for not making me feel alone during the hardships I have faced." Jesus Christ. "I've always felt I could look up to you, and you made me believe I can." I can't even finish this. "And you made me believe I could get through anything, whether that's being surrounded by addiction, a lot of my life, or my body. Even if I can't meet you personally, I want you to know how much you've impacted my life. I wish you and Cody the best. Love, Emma." Bro, Emma, please come back to my house. Emma, please come back to my house. This is the craziest letter I've ever received. And if you don't come back to my house right now, I love you so much. Clearly you've impacted me as well. I'm so sorry for everything you've gone through. And I appreciate that you feel my videos are a safe space for you. And I need you to come back to my house.
Now on paper, this could have been a genuinely wholesome moment if Mikayla didn't already have a history of acting like an attention-seeking drama magnet, because almost immediately people started questioning whether Emma even existed. Some argued that the entire thing felt staged, like her PR team had written the letter and Mikayla just performed the part. A few people also pointed out how odd the situation was. How does someone just show up at her doorstep like that? Isn't that kind of dangerous? Especially considering how much she flaunts her wealth online. Let's not forget, her massive shopping haul videos had just gone viral. Millions of people knew she had luxury goods worth thousands sitting in her house. Shouldn't that make her a little, cautious? When people asked her about this exact concern in the comments, she claimed that she was pretty sure Emma was a friend of her neighbor's. Okay, but if that's the case, why didn't she just go next door and get Emma's information instead of begging her to come back on camera? It makes no sense. The whole thing just screamed staged, and honestly a little desperate. After she posted this video, people immediately started asking for updates on Emma, and she gave one. She posted a TikTok saying that Emma came back to her house and she gave her one of her giveaway boxes. And guess what? This girl, Emma, did not want to be filmed.
Every day I am being asked for an update on Emma, and I have one. But I am going to respect Emma's privacy, which is why I didn't film with her. I didn't like make it a whole thing, okay? So, here's the update. I waited that night for Emma to potentially come back, but I knew it was late, so she did not come back. The next day, she knew I was going to Adam Sandler because she saw my videos, so she didn't come back. And I was hoping that she wouldn't come back and I would miss her again, but thankfully she knew I was going to Adam Sandler that night, so she didn't come back. She came back yesterday. I was doing makeup with my friend Lexi in my beauty room and my doorbell rang and I'm like, oh my God. And I clicked it and it was her. And she was with her same friend that she came with that other day. And I was like mid-makeup. I literally had like one eye done, not the other one. And I'm like, so I ran downstairs, opened the door. She's so sweet. Like I said, she's a junior in high school and she's been through so much. And you guys told me that you would be okay with me giving her at least a piece of the giveaway. So I said to her, I appreciate you so much. And I also said to her, I appreciated how in her letter, she didn't just ask me for free stuff. Like a lot of the letters I get, they're all like sentimental and impactful. And then the bottom is like, can I please have free makeup? She didn't do that in her letter. And I appreciated that because it seemed like she actually like wanted to say thank you to me and not just get free stuff. Anyways, so I brought her in my house and I said, these are the giveaway boxes I've created for my giveaway and I want you to have one of them and you can pick whichever one you want. So there's the Dyson box, the Louis Vuitton box, the POV Beauty box, the Ulta gift card box, and the Sephora gift card box. And these boxes are huge. When I tell you it took 4 of us to carry this to her car. But anyways, she picked the Dyson box. So she got the Dyson and then a makeup inside of that box. And she was kind of shaking and she was definitely nervous. She was a little shy, but she was so grateful, dude. She told me my video made her sob. And she gave me the biggest hug and we took a photo together. And she's just the sweetest person. And I was so happy to do that. So thank you guys for giving me the permission to do that. But that is the update. Emma did come back. We gave her a bunch of makeup. We thanked her. It was very, very sweet. And I would love to see Emma again and do something even more for her. I mean, I truly believe this girl deserves the world. And for people saying that she must be rich because she lives in my neighborhood, she doesn't live in my neighborhood. She is not rich. Let's take that narrative out of here. She doesn't live near me. She drove to my house. Nobody else do that, please. But for her, I will give it a pass. So yeah, that is the update. I know a lot of people wanted me to film with her, but like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be like, hey, thanks for this amazing letter. Can we make a video? I didn't want to do that. But if she may post a video unboxing the box of stuff I gave her. She may make a video with a story time about all this. That's not up to me. You know, that's not up to me. She's a teenager. And she's such a sweetheart that I almost don't want her to put herself out there because it's a mean world. But yeah, that's the update. Hope that's good enough.
How convenient, Mikayla. You did not film her because she did not want to be on camera or because she didn't even exist. She twisted the facts about Emma so much that people are now convinced that she fabricated her. One thing we gotta agree on, Mikayla appears to be a very bad liar and actor. Speaking of lies, she's also recently posted a 9-minute-long TikTok, basically crying and breaking down. We want you to watch this video. So she said that people are attacking her for her appearance? Well, are there mean comments under her videos? Yes. Some people even go to body shame her. But the majority of her audience that is criticizing her over and over again is pissed with her not only because of the AI filters, but because of her blatant tendency to lie every few seconds. Mikayla Nogueira's story is the perfect example of how an influencer can build a brand on authenticity and then burn it down with dishonesty. Over the years, she has repeatedly misled her audience, from the infamous Lashgate scandal to secretly hiding sponsorships while pretending to give honest reviews. She's lied about her appearance, constantly editing her face and body while preaching self-acceptance, and she's even used her husband for emotional bait when engagements started to dip. But what truly frustrates the audience is not just the lying, it's her complete refusal to take accountability. Every time she faces backlash, Mikayla convinces herself it's because people hate how she looks. She acts like she's the victim of endless bullying and jealousy, when in reality it's her own dishonesty and arrogance that turn people off. And now with her $200,000 shopping haul, she'd managed to dig the hole even deeper. Flaunting luxury bags, shoes, and clothes worth more than most people's yearly salaries, all while claiming she blacked out and bought them, shows just how detached from reality she's become. And now the real question is, will Mikayla ever take accountability for the lies, the manipulation, and the tone-deaf behavior? Or will she continue convincing herself that everyone's just coming for her? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts, because this story, just like Mikayla's controversies, isn't ending anytime soon.